Yo, you know what's happened, man? Well, man was meant to be going somewhere, but man's got a little bit of time now. You know what I'm saying? So man just thought, you know what? Let me just go live, man. You get me? Let me just go live and just do a little. I mean, just be on there a little bit more, man. You know what I'm saying? Just come on my man's own channel and just do a little bit of stuff. Obviously, it's like a little West Ham Arsenal preview. A little question is Declan Rice worth 100 million? That's a little question that man's just gonna just run through a little bit. I don't even know how long man will be live for. I might be live for a minute, you know, because my little plans got cancelled. So man might be on there for a little while. But yeah, is the $1 million question is Declan Rice worth 100 million? And a little West Ham Arsenal little review, because you know what, we got West Ham at tomorrow 5:30, and as much as West Ham are, like, you know, they haven't been playing too well. They haven't really been on form this season. But all of a sudden they've gone and beaten Newcastle away. Now, beating Newcastle away is obviously, it shows that they're, you know what I mean, they can get their act together. That's just how I see it. Like, they can get their act together. As Arsenal fans right now, our thing is just one game at a time. Like, we've got to take every single game one at a time. Yeah, we've got to take it all one at a time, because we don't take it one at a time, we're going to get into this little spiral of looking at the next cluster of matches and thinking, yeah, we can win that one, win that one, win that one. When we don't win that one, then all of a sudden it's oh yeah, we lost that one, and we feel a little bit more deflated than we actually should do. So we got to take it one game at a time. Like, Liverpool got Man City weekend, we've got West Ham, and on paper it's like, yeah, hopefully one of them are going to drop points and we should get our 3 points. You know what I'm saying? But we don't focus on West Ham, we're gonna slip up. Like, we start thinking about what Liverpool are doing, what Man City are doing, we're gonna slip up, and we need to just focus on right now. Like, we had a couple of good games, but a lot of people are a little bit defeatist about Arsenal right now. So where people are a bit defeatist about us, we got to make sure we just stay on track and just focus on what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that's just what we've got to do. We can't be getting into a false sense of security or so, like, the facts are, we got to focus on our team, and we got to focus on this West Ham game, man. Like, because as much as everyone's predicting us to win, no game's easy in the Premier League, man. There's no easy game in the Premier League, and man, I just got to make sure we just focus, take it like a cup final, and really, like, do the business. Because West Ham away has never been an easy game for us. It's never been an easy game, man. And I don't expect an easy game. They're an attacking team. They got, like, I know that, like, all the odds are in our favor. Like, all the odds are in our favor. We got Kudos is out. Lopetegui's not on the sideline. They ain't got their manager. So all the odds are in our favor. It's Declan Rice's homecoming. So all the odds are in our favor. But West Ham away has never been an easy game. Like, even off my whole family supports West Ham. You know what I mean? A couple of them support Arsenal and a couple Liverpool or whatever, but the whole family supports West Ham. So it's like, and they don't see us as a major threat. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we got to make sure that we just focus on this game. But before I get right into the real West Ham Arsenal preview, man's gonna just talk about Declan Rice for a little bit. Is Declan Rice worth 100 million? That's what everyone is really talking about right now, because I'm seeing a lot of people doubting Declan Rice and talking about whether he's worth 100 million. Can he play in the 6? Can he play in the 8? All this type of stuff. So to me, he's 110% worth the 100 million. And I feel like all the Arsenal fans that really watch him week in, week out know he's worth 100 million. Because as far as I'm concerned, we ain't even seen the real Declan Rice yet. The real Declan Rice ain't even been seen yet. Like, That's the truth of it. Like, and he's the type of player that we can't not have in our team, like in our starting lineup. Declan Rice kind of like he's one of our like you know what it is as well. When people say is he worth 100 million, I feel like they underappreciate what you do off the pitch. Like obviously we always judge it by what's on the pitch, you know what I'm saying? Like you're always gonna judge it by what's on the pitch, but people underestimate how much it matters off the pitch. Like Declan Rice has been he was West Ham's I don't know if it was their youngest or one of their youngest captains. He so he's clearly a leader. He's a player that I see at West Ham a little while ago. And I was one of them that was underrating him. I was exactly the same as people were before. Like, oh yeah, nah, he's not as good as they think and all that. I was one of those. But what's happened is I actually started closely watching him when he was at West Ham. And when he was at West Ham, I started looking at him and I saw him play, I think it was Liverpool away, where he bossed that game. And then I saw him play against, I think it was one of the teams in was it the Conference League where they played? It was away, and he bossed the game. Like they were at West Ham were under heavy pressure, and Declan Rice was the guy that was like getting the ball and not just driving forward, but just showing real maturity because he's a young boy. You have to remember he was West Ham's youngest captain. He's a super young boy. So like he was bossing that game away from home majorly. And I ain't seen many young players be able to take the game by the scruff of the neck. You know what I'm saying? I feel like what people do, they kind of always remember what you do on the pitch, but they forget off of it. Declan Rice off the pitch is one of them. He's never in the media. He's never in the media or in any scandals. You never see people taking pictures of him out drinking and all that type of stuff. He's never one of them guys. You never see Rice ever like having an interview where he's lost his head or anything like that. Every time we have a bad game or anything, because Declan Rice, when he first come to Arsenal, they started sending him out to do the media duties. Rice was on media duty as soon as he came. And I thought to myself, why is he on media duty so early? I couldn't believe they put Rice on media duty so early. As soon as he came, he's doing every time we have a bad game, Rice is out there. And I thought, how comes he's on media duty? And that's what made me realize about his level of like professionalism and like he's a stand-up character. Because Arteta said, listen, he's ready to be captain already. He's ready to be one of the main leaders in our team. And he was on media duty, and I've never seen him lose his head in any interviews. Yeah, everyone has a little up and down in interviews. Rice never loses his head. He's one of those players or one of those guys that maintain composure all the time. That Rice maintains composure all the time. He's never, ever like he's not like that as a human. Like I feel so. He's one of them guys, and see as well with Rice. With what I find is really impressive is with him is even when like you feel like he's not performing, or even when you feel like he's in a bad like Arsenal in a bad spot, it's never Rice is playing badly. He's never the person that people think, oh, it's Rice's fault or anything like that. It's never Rice's fault. It's never Rice's fault. It's never he was the reason for this or it's never him. He's not a guy that it's never really Rice's fault. You know what I'm saying? He's not a guy that's ever his fault. So I just feel like he's a serious like player for our team. Not only is he a serious player for our team, but he's the only player that I feel can't get dominated in a match. Like I've seen, like even though Partey is our best six, because Partey is our best number six, and he's been our best player this season. Partey, he's definitely our best midfielder, but Partey has to be at the top of his game all the time. Like if Partey is playing a 6 or a 7, for example, or a 6, we could still probably lose that game or lose that midfield battle. With Declan Rice, if Declan Rice plays a 7, we won't be losing that midfield battle. We might lose the game, but his 7 is still going to be Do you know what I mean? Like making sure he's getting around players and winning that ball back and driving up the field. His 7 is a very high 7. That's the difference in what I feel about Declan Rice. I feel like he's greatly, greatly underappreciated because I don't think you realize how important those players are in the team. Even when I used to play, a man played with like different people and certain players. It's all well and good having the technical. We had a couple like serious guys that can control the football, in the DM where they can control the ball and control the game and stuff like that. And when they were missed, they were missed. But there was one player, like we had a version of like Kante in our team. And our version of Kante was the guy that if he wasn't playing, it was a major problem because he was everywhere. This guy was everywhere and he would allow the other players to play. And I feel like that's Declan Rice's role at the minute. Like he allows other players to play. And he also, when like he's been given a different role. Like Declan Rice, he's so good that you can tell Declan Rice to play in a way, any way you want him to play. Declan Rice can play anyhow. He can play 6, he can play 8, he can play centre back. And not only that, he can play it to a very high standard. And a lot of people are saying that because they're comparing him to Caicedo right now. It's this whole Caicedo, Lavia, Rice, all of that thing is happening. But I feel like people are forgetting Declan Rice hardly ever gets booked. He hardly gets. He very rarely does Rice get booked. He don't get booked often. He very rarely gets sent off. I know he got sent off against Brighton, which was a bit crazy, but he never really gets sent off. Very rarely does he give away many fouls. Rice don't really give away fouls. Rice is not a guy that kind of you feel like, oh, why did you do that? He never ever makes mistakes. Rice is a steady player. And I feel like when you're comparing 100 million for players, I feel like consistency is probably what makes them £100 million or not. Rice don't make mistakes ever. He never makes mistakes. He never does the wrong thing either. There's times where you feel like, oh, you could have passed it there, or you could have passed it there, or on the half turn. But I feel like this whole playing on the half turn thing is just everyone's just looking for reasons to find a fault in his game. Because with him, you have him in the team, your midfield is more than less. It's probably not going to be dominated. You might win the midfield battle, but you will never dominate Declan Rice. Like he can't be dominated in a match because he's able to do the other side of the game that no one else can really do like him. Like even sometimes, I remember when we played against West Ham. I think we played against West Ham last year, no, the year before last year, and we were cruising against West Ham away from home. When we played away from home against them, we were cruising, and then Partey got the ball at the edge of our box. So I think it was Ramsdale at the time. I think he's passed the ball to Partey. Now we were all over West Ham. West Ham had nothing, and then Rice decided to press Partey. That's what happened. Rice went and pressed Partey, won the ball from Partey. It could have potentially been a foul, but he won the ball from Partey, passes the ball to Antonio Bowen, I can't remember who, and they score a deflected goal. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, you've gone and let that happen straight away. Like, I can't believe that's just gone and happened. Because we were cruising in the game, and one goal just turns into 2, turns into 3, and that's what ended up happening. It always turns into it's a whole different game when the momentum swings. And that's what happened with that game in particular. Like Rice, all of a sudden, he decided I need to take control of this game, and that's what I think £100 million player is their value. The true value is like £100 million is a player that can take over the game and really go and do what he thinks he can do, and that's what Rice done, and that's what he did, and that's what he's capable of. Partey's not able to. Partey, as good as he is, he's not able to take over a game. Now he's not able to take over a game. He's not able to like drive it. Partey's basically what I'm saying. Partey's not. It's not on the eye captain material. Well, I don't know what these guys are like behind the scenes, but he ain't captain material on the eye. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to drag his team at the dumps. Rice can. Rice has got that level of that character to say, yeah, I'm going to drag this team out from the dumps. I'm going to do what I've got to do. He can do the humble thing where he listens to Arteta and plays the position that he has to play, but he can also do the let me go and take over this game for my team, man. And that's what he can do. He's definitely worth 100 million. That's standard. Like when we first started, we were linked to Rice. When it was between Rice, Caicedo, Lavia, and all those guys. Obviously, we put a bid in for Caicedo, but I wanted Rice the most. I wanted Rice badly because that was the player that I wanted. Like I wanted him because I knew if we have him in our team, that's a player that you can keep there for 10 plus years, and you know he's going to be able to be exactly what you want him to be. You know he's going to realize his potential. Certain players, they don't realize their potential. Caicedo right now is just bossing everyone that he plays against. You know what I'm saying? He's 150 million pounds. He's bossing everyone right now. The reason why Rice is not able to show that, like people are saying he's not on the same level as Caicedo, is because of the roles that they're playing and what they're being asked to do. Rice can take over a game. I've seen him do that 2-3 times, even against Sporting Lisbon. When we played Sporting Lisbon, Rice was brilliant. Like obviously we had some super standouts, you know, like Timber and Partey and those type of guys, but Rice, he was absolutely phenomenal that game because he just decided, I'm gonna make sure that I go and make sure I win my battles, win the ball high, keep the game ticking over. He don't win the ball and then try to be the hero. Like Rice will win the ball and then give it to the player that he needs to give it to. Even the first goal, where people like to say, "Oh yeah, he doesn't know it about 1-2s and he can't play through the lines and stuff like that." It's him that passed the ball to Timber. He's the one that because in that game it was Odegaard, Timber, Rice was there, and Saka. They were the little four linking up with each other. Like when they did the little 1-2s, Odegaard gave it to Saka, Saka gave it to back to Rice. Rice little ball through to Timber. Timber whips it in for Martinelli. It was Rice that gave that ball to Timber. So he can, obviously we know he can definitely do that part as well. There's no two ways about it. I just feel like everyone wants to see him play in the six because they say, oh, he can't play in the six because he can't boss a game on. But you saw him how good he really is against Liverpool. Because against Liverpool, when he was playing in the six, the reason why we actually drew that game and not actually won it, sometimes with Partey, what he does, Partey is the type of guy that he sees the forward ball all the time. So, because he sees the forward ball all the time, even sometimes when you want the game to be slowed down, he's playing forward. That's a Partey game. So it suits Arsenal to play fluidly with a Partey in the team. But with a Rice in the team, or in the six, should I say, he would know, okay, we're 2-0 up, 3-0 up. It's time for me to slow this down. That's a Rice game. Rice is more of an old head. You know what I mean? Like he's an old head on the pitch. Like he's like a mature player, like one of our main mature players. He's one of those guys. Rice don't really like. He's not one of them guys that looks for glory. Rice is not a glory guy. So that 100 million that you're saying, yeah, for 100 million, I need to see more. You need to see more, but there's no substitute for those guys in the team that are irreplaceable, really. Because when Rice plays on a team, I can almost guarantee we will not be dominated in that midfield. I don't feel like we can get dominated if Rice is playing. Like, even when Marino came in and started playing well, when Partey's playing well, I never once contemplated not playing Rice. Rice has to play. Whether he's in the 8 or the 6. If Partey's playing well, then Rice has to play in the 8. Simple as that. Marino will hold the bench. Like, there's no way Declan Rice is going on the bench for me personally. Like, some people might be like, yeah, because the way you play and it suits our game if we do this. And I don't care who we're playing. I don't care if we're playing team at the bottom. I don't care if we're playing team at the top. Declan Rice plays every single time, and he's one of the first names on the team sheet as well. It's not just that. And he, even for England, Rice is they got this thing where they're like talking about Jones now, stuff like that. And big up my brother. Come on, my guy. Man's just got a little bit of free time to just, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of free time, so I'm just gonna have a little talk. But even for England, when Rice will play for England, and what people do, they look for people that can play a better role than Rice. You can't find anyone that's going to play better than Rice, because when you go and find a player that is brilliant in the six at passing and moving. You then have to find someone that can do what Rice does off the ball, because everyone's just focused on the ball now. Like the way the game's gone, the whole Pep Guardiola thing is like the whole everything's on the ball, on the ball, on the ball. Like no one cares about anything that happens off the ball anymore, and that's what I feel like you're kind of forgetting and missing. The off the ball is just as important. Like you can talk about having on the ball or as much as you like, but one of our big factors in our team right now is how good we are off the ball. The reason why Odegaard, I feel like he's world class, guaranteed. And the reason why he's world class is not just about how good he is on the ball, it's about how good he is off the ball. Odegaard starts our press. Odegaard is the reason why we can go and we press at the right time and then we all go together this side or we all go together that side. That's what Odegaard does. He's that good off the ball. Rice is not just on the ball, is not on the ball merchant. And Odegaard, the thing about Odegaard as well is we had this with Özil. Like when we had Özil at our team, and when we had Özil, we had a big problem with Özil off the ball. Like it was a big thing for us, especially for me anyway. Özil off the ball was like, oh, we need him to work harder. You know what I'm saying? We weren't playing to Ozil's strengths. Ozil is an on the ball merchant, isn't he? You know, he needs to be on the ball. But we were struggling. That's why we love Sanchez so much, because Sanchez was like, he was a brilliant on the ball, but he was a maniac off of it. Like he was like off the ball, he was just as good off the ball as he was on the ball. And I feel like that's what we've got. With Odegaard. Odegaard off the ball is as good as I've ever seen any attacking midfield player ever. I don't remember an attacking fielder that works as hard as Odegaard. Like it's very hard to find those guys. I mean, Bernardo Silva is up there with hard work as well off the ball, but Odegaard off the ball is phenomenal off the ball, and I feel like that's probably the difference when you're judging a player like Declan Rice and a player like, say, a Partey or someone like that. Because Partey is so good on the ball, but he's more clever off the ball. Partey's like more about positioning to kind of be in the right position, and if you come around him, he'll use his long dangly spider legs. You know what I'm saying? Because Partey's like a Spider Man. You know what I'm saying? Partey is Spider Man. You know what I'm saying? And he has all these. And we played against them players that have got them long dangly legs, and they just kind of just nip the ball. Like them man there, they're hard to play against in the middle of the park. I used to run at man with the ball, and then there's certain man that you could just feel their legs are just around. Their legs are just local. Their legs are local. You're just like, oh, bruv. Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of man like that. Partey's one of them, man, where his legs are just there and he can just nip the ball from you and nip the ball from you. Rice is a bit different. Will go into battle with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, Rice's timing of his tackles are just like, Rice is a tackler. He will tackle and win the ball and keep the ball. Like, he's not a guy that crunches you and kicks the ball and the ball goes somewhere else. Rice is a man that will tackle you and keep the ball at his feet. That's how expert of a tackler Declan Rice is. He tackles all the time. He gets to go when he goes to ground. I know he's probably 9 times out of 10 is going to win the ball and keep the ball moving. He don't just tackle for the sake of tackling. That's not a Rice thing. Rice will jockey, and then win the ball and keep the ball moving. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how those players are. Yo, my G. All right, join the trenches, my brother. Hello. You forgot the last one. You've got hello in it. Hello. What you saying is just hello, or you just doing your own thing. So it's hello, innit? Hello. I swear it's that, fam. Oh my guy, mad. And it's not hello in it hello with an E. In it hello. You get me? But yeah, Rice is he's worth 100 million to me without a shadow of a doubt. Like, I just wanted to do this. Reason why I wanted to do this video, because I wanted to do this video just to kind of give him his props as well, because I see a lot of like online and people talking about, oh, Declan Rice is this and he's not that, and I just feel like there's not enough Arsenal fans backing him. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't feel, because when I'm chatting to some of Arsenal fans and that, we love Rice. There's not he's one of our best players. We like even last season, he was probably our best player for the whole season. Rice was our best player all season. Like there's no two ways about that. Like he was super consistent. He was even chipping in with last minute goals. He scored a goal against he scored a last minute goal against Luton. Then he scored that goal against Man United, that last minute goal against Man United. Then like he was clutch for us last year. Big up my brother. My guys, football locker room, man. My G's them. Yeah, Rice was, and I feel like because we didn't win the league, it kind of just gets thrown to the wayside that Rice is he's not performing, and he's, you know what I'm saying. But to me, he's definitely worth the 100 million. This is what I'm saying. These guys, top baller, but not worth 100 million. Saying that we spent 90 million on Anthony and Maguire, or he spent 80 on Maguire. If you say he's not worth 100 million, what is he worth then? Because you say he's not worth 100. If he's not worth 100, what would you say he's worth? You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think he's worth, because I definitely think Rice is worth 100 million. I just feel like people appreciate, because in this day and age, they're appreciating on the ball more than off the ball. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like they're judging everything off the ball. Everything's judged off the ball nowadays, isn't it? I mean, on the ball nowadays, sorry. Like, because of the Pep thing, it's like, can you do this on the ball? Can you do that? Can you do this on the ball, on the ball, on the ball? Like, even defenders now, defenders are judged what they can do on the ball. Like, I don't remember that type of thing. I don't remember defenders being judged by what they can do on the ball before what they can do off the ball. You'll get defenders that can't defend, but because they can play out from the back, people are seeing them as class defenders. I don't understand that. Like, even goalkeepers, you've got a goalkeeper. If a goalkeeper can't play 1-2s, they're seen as they're not good in goal. You see that with like Anand, even though Anand has been playing well this season, and Anand has really showed them. He's really stepped up his actual goalkeeping. In like, to be fair to him, because he's saved them a good 3-4 times this season already. But at the beginning, it was like, yeah, he's brilliant on the ball, and I'm thinking, since when is being on the ball more important than doing your initial job? I don't remember that. I don't remember when it became so much on the ball stuff and it's all about on the ball. I understand that it's like, yeah, it's the times have changed. It's changed, isn't it? It's all different now. I understand that. But at the end of the day, you've got to be just as good off the ball as you are on it. We had Özil already that wasn't good on the ball, and we weren't happy with it. We've had that already. We've had all these lazy players for years, and it didn't work. Not even that it didn't work, but you get so frustrated with players that don't work hard off the ball more than you do that they're good on the ball. That's why players like Martinelli still are in our team, because we appreciate his effort off the ball. Martinelli is the type of guy that he ain't that good on the ball, to be honest with you. Like, Martinelli is really irritating on the ball, but because of how hard he works off the ball, we as Arsenal fans can appreciate that and say, listen, at least you're putting in that 110% effort, and you're running around and you're running for the team and you're a team player. Same as what Alexis Sanchez was. Alexis Sanchez was brilliant on the ball and off the ball. That's why we appreciated him more than Özil. Özil was brilliant on the ball, but off the ball, he's lazy. Özil used to do my head in. Özil, yeah, for me, is probably the most overrated great for me. Özil has probably got to be the most overrated great that I've ever seen. Like, I don't remember a player that people talk about so highly that was at our club that I always thought was not that good. For me, Özil was one of those players that everyone always talks about. Like, he wasn't no Dennis Bergkamp. Özil's not even wasn't even like being able to have the effect on the team like Odegaard's having. Özil was the type of guy that, like, when it suited him or when the game worked for him, he was like, yeah, it's perfect. Like, the wind had to be right, the grass had to be right. He had to have the right ball to his feet. Özil was one of them, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Özil weren't one of them guys that, like, you feel like, yeah, we can rely on Özil today. He weren't that, bruv. Özil wasn't a guy that we can say we can rely on. You can't rely on Özil. You can rely on Odegaard. You can rely on Sanchez. You can rely on these guys. You can't rely on Özil. Özil was like, I don't know, man. He's the most overrated, frustrating player that I've ever had, even at Arsenal. And you say, why do we care though about how much our club spent? It's not our money. City spent 100 million for Grealish. No one speaks about it because he's won something. Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's not even. You know what it is? It's not even that he spent 100 million on Grealish. You know what it is? It's that he also won everything. Do you know what I'm saying? And even with Grealish, he was a big part of them winning a few things. Like it was a big part of them winning a few things because he was like, I think it the what game was it? Was it the Real Madrid game? He was man the match or something like that. And Grealish really stepped up for City when they needed him. Of course, he's not a guy, he's not going to score you loads of goals and stuff. But then again, you have to remember, Grealish is actually an attacking midfielder. He's not really a left-sided player anyway. Pepper's just brought him there and said that's where he wants him to play. Grealish he's really a number 10, really. Like, so, yeah, I get what you're saying about the why do we care how much our owners spend. I'm not really too fussed about the owners spend. Everyone spends money nowadays. Like, everyone spends money. Everyone's spending the same amount of money. No one can really, the money argument's kind of gone now. No one can talk about how much money this one spent and how much money that one spent. That money argument's been gone for the last, I don't know, 8 years maybe, where teams can all, like Aston Villa, look at Aston Villa, look at Leicester. Everyone's spending big money now. The only difference is, I think, in terms of what players you can get is if you get the right manager in. If you get a manager that kind of not like Leicester are clever trying to get Van Nistelrooy because they'll be able to get, you know what I mean, Van Nistelrooy uses connections abroad and stuff like that and be able to get some gems in. So I think it's more about the managers, but in terms of money, everyone spends money now. The money thing's out the water, man. Like all of this, oh yeah, Man United spent the most money. Chelsea have trounced Man United in money in the last couple of years. Chelsea have spent 1.6 billion, 1.7 billion, whatever they spent. So everyone spends money now. You know what I'm saying? It's not a thing like that, to be honest with you. Like that's just how it goes at the end of the day. As you say, we can't act like players back in the day weren't good on the ball. People love runners these days. Yeah, they do. They do. They love runners these days. But you need runners these days because the game's changed. If you don't have runners in your team now, you won't get the ball. Like Man City changed that. Man City kept the ball, will keep the ball for the whole game. So you need players that are able to press, and I think that's what it is. Because Man City, obviously Guardiola changed that whole thing with Barcelona, innit? Because when he was at Barcelona, because when the real game that I think really put it into perspective was the Barcelona Man United game at Wembley, when obviously the game where was it 2-1 or 3-1, I think it was, when the Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets midfield, and then Man United had the Rooney, Giggs. They put Sanji Park on to man mark Messi. Remember that? I don't know if you don't remember that game. That's the game that I feel like showed that if you've got guys on the ball, the technicality on the ball, you're not gonna get that ball back. It was that game that showed it. That's like, yeah, we're gonna stay on the ball, and if you don't close us down in the right way, you ain't getting that ball back. And Barcelona dominated Man United, like completely dominated Man United. Completely, Man United could not get that ball. Like, so I feel like it was more about that game when Barcelona dominated Man United, when it was like it showed the turning of the, okay, you now have to keep this ball. So yeah, of course, everyone just cares about runners nowadays. Yeah, they do, but you need athletes in the team now, man. If you don't have athletes in the team, they better be super technical. Remember Joe Allen and was it Joe Allen? Joe Allen and Leon Britton and the Swansea team. Remember that little Swansea team with Martinez and all that for a little bit. When they had those players, they were like, you have to be that technical at least to be able to keep the ball and control the game. If you're not that technical, you're gonna have a hard time if you're not athletic, man. I'll be real. Ozil is only good for a team that dominates possession, 100%. 100%. He's only good for a team. And not only that as well, what Ozil does as well, which is more frustrating than anything, Ozil's only good for a team that has possession. But do you know why Ozil's more irritating? Because he's the type of guy that during a game, if it's not going his way, he doesn't want to play. Like, he doesn't want to play. Like, he's one of them guys that he doesn't want to play if the game's not going his way. Like even if he like one of them guys, if he does like he's got the ball and he passes a ball and he goes through and the guy maybe misses or doesn't control it properly, he'll be like, oh, sort of like that. But the game's still going on. Like he's not one of them guys that will play the game, play the ball, and then focus on, oh, we need to win the ball back. He's not like that. Ozil's like a guy that Ozil needed to have been at a City where they've got all the structure for him, and then he's there. To be at Arsenal when he was at Arsenal was the wrong timing. With one of the top players, but the wrong timing. But because of I had not watched Ozil every minute of the day at Real Madrid, so I just assumed, yeah, we're getting this sublime creative player. He's the guy. He's gonna change our fortunes. No. When he came to Arsenal, I realized what type of player we was getting. I realized we weren't getting the player that I thought we was getting. Like I thought we were getting, like, for example, now an Ødegaard. Now, Ødegaard will have a bigger legacy at Arsenal if he stays. Like he'll have a much bigger legacy if he stays. He's already captain material, isn't he? So it's a different level, man, to be honest with you. If Ozil was perfect, he would score the goal when Giroud was struggling. He'd make pass, what should we miss, and never felt I could do more. 100%. 100%. That's what it is with Ozil. Ozil's a player that, like, he's a luxury player, isn't it? He's a luxury player. Ozil's a luxury player. And at the time, Arsenal we didn't have time to have any luxury players. You know what I'm saying? We needed, right at certain points, we needed more than luxury. Unfortunately, Ozil came to our club at the wrong time. Like Ozil needed a structure behind him and a system behind him and that type of thing. For him to come to our team, like you can't really perform with Giroud up front. Do you know what I'm saying? Giroud being up front doesn't really work for Ozil because Ozil needs movement, he needs good hold-up play, and he needs someone to put the ball in the damn net. You know what I'm saying? Ozil needs someone to put the ball in the net. Giroud is not that guy that's going to put the ball in the damn net. So if you don't put the ball in the net, you're expecting Ozil to control games. He's not really a control setter. You know what I mean? Ozil's not really a controller. He's more of a creator. Ødegaard's more of a controller. You know what I'm saying? Ozil's more of a creator, the last pass guy. He will make that last ball. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't put the ball in the net, you got a problem. You don't put the ball in the net, Ozil's got a problem, man. You got a problem. That's what Ozil's on. I keep going. Big up my brother Hooks, man. That's my killie there. You know, we got a show late night tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? Friday nights, we got a show tonight. Not sure what time. Normally 10:30, 11ish, give or take. But we got a show tonight, man. Last week's one was serious, but yeah, we got a show tonight. We got Trench Talks Thursdays, and we got Hooks has got one Fridays. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, Rice has done more to justify the 100 million over Grealish. He just hasn't won something yet. Barca smoked us, Messi header. Yeah. That's the game I was talking about. Yeah, the Messi header. Oh, was it? No, they weren't the Messi header. No. It was Messi shot from outside the box and scored bottom corner against Van der Sar. It weren't the Messi header. The Messi header was 2-0, I think, where he headed it over the keeper. I'm talking about the one where I'm talking about the goal where who scored? David Villa. Do you remember when David Villa scored that one to make it 3-1? That goal. The game that Rooney scored. I think it was 3-1. I'm talking about that game. But yeah, Declan Rice has definitely done worth 100 million. Like he's done more to justify 100 million than Grealish. More than Grealish is hard to judge because Grealish has won trophies. But if you're talking about as a player, Declan Rice has done, like I say, he's the type of player people always compare on the ball. They think everything is about on the ball. They forget every other part of the game. Like it's like the other side of the game doesn't exist nowadays. Like the other side of the game is a real thing. And Declan Rice is probably the best in the world at the other side of the game. But they dismiss that because the game nowadays is all about on the ball. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't have the other side of the game, you can't be worth 100 million without the other side of the game. Declan Rice does the other side of the game better than anybody. So this whole thing of everyone comparing him to Rodri, for example, or comparing him to Busquets and all those other things. Firstly, one, they're different players. Same position but different players. But two, Declan Rice is a guy. There's no media. You're not going to see him in the media. There's no lateness. There's no up and down stuff like that. Declan Rice stays at a 7 or an 8 every game. That means you're a £100 million player if you can play at 7 or 8 every single game, because that's the hardest thing to do. There's no substitute for consistency. That's what people are not understanding. You see, Martinelli goes down and up, up, down, up, down. So I'm saying even Partey, who is our best player this season, Partey's playing a 9, he's going to control the game. But if Partey's playing a 6, we might not win that game. If Declan Rice is playing a 6 or a 7, we're not going to get dominated in the game, because Declan Rice's 7 and Declan Rice's 9 are quite close together. Like Declan Rice, if he plays a 9 or he plays a 7, it's not that much of a difference because of how he plays. His game is all steady. Partey's 10 is up, 9 is up there, and his 6 is down here because of the way he plays. So it's a little bit different when it comes to that. Man said I might have to cancel my vote. Yeah, calm, my guy. Come on, family. Cancel your show. I'll be on stream, man. I'll just stream. You get me? Man's there, fam. You know what I'm saying? Cancel your show. You cancel your show. It's how it goes. Man's just grafting. But he says, yeah, of course Dex is worth 100 M's. Of course he is, man. How can Dex not be worth? I mean, if he's not worth 100 million, someone's got to tell me why. Like, if you tell me why he's not worth 100 million, then I'm willing to have that convo. You know what I'm saying? You got to tell me why he's not worth 100 million. You can't just say he's not worth 100 million and not tell me why. You got to tell me why he's not worth 100 million, and then I can be like, okay, let's have the conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's not a thing of, yeah, he ain't worth 100 million because he doesn't score goals. Because I remember before what they were saying. I remember Roy Keane and all them guys were saying he doesn't get enough goals and stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? All of a sudden, now you expect Declan Rice to be scoring 10, 15 goals a season. What's really going on here? I remember before they were talking about every minute the narrative is changing. The narrative just changed based on what someone decides to say on the telly or on YouTube. Oh yeah, we got 10 men, but you're still meant to attack. Okay, I've never heard that before. I didn't know you was meant to attack with 10 men. I always knew when you got 10 men, you sit back and try and see out the game. That's what I've always known. I didn't know when you had 10 men, you're meant to go and win the game and score loads of goals. I've never known that. I didn't know that Declan Rice, when we buy him for 100 million from West Ham to play as a number 6, he's meant to be getting 10 goals a season. I didn't know that. I've never ever thought that Declan Rice is meant to be getting goals. I've never seen it like that. But all of a sudden, because Declan Rice is worth 100 million, he's meant to be getting goals. There's two sides of the game. There's not just one side of the game. Since when is there just one side of the game? I don't understand. I don't understand it. Man said, oh yeah, Rome got to do something. Yeah, calm, my GG. Skip this week and go again next week. Yeah. Calm, my bro. Whenever you're ready. Rice is worth more than 100 M. I don't understand why people question his value in 11 games in. No one was talking about 100 million. Exactly. No one was talking about 100 million last season. And not only that as well, last season, I think he went under the radar. All of those games when he won us, like I say, against Man United, he did the last minute against Luton. Like, all of those games, even Nottingham Forest, he was the best player on the pitch. Rice, when everyone's playing badly, Rice still plays well. That's how Declan Rice is. He doesn't ever play badly. Sort my camera right. Rice don't ever have a bad game. He's not a guy that has a bad game. Nothing's ever his fault. Goals are never, very rarely are they ever his fault. He's never the reason why we didn't win or didn't, like, he's never that reason. It's never him. Sometimes a lot of people make individual errors. It's never Rice. Rice is never the guy that makes individual errors like that. Rice is a steady player, and his steadiness is up here. And that is testament to the work that he puts in. Because I can see him, like, by rights, he's already a captain in our team. We know that. When you go to certain matches and you go to certain games, if you watch games live, you get to see what players are like. One, he's super passionate. Two, he's in tune with what's going on in the real world. He's not like one of those guys that's not in the real world. He knows exactly he knows what we're saying online. He knows what the crowd are thinking. He knows all of that. He's in tune with everything. He's in tune with the ground up. You know what I'm saying? He's in tune. But also with Rice he's a type of guy that he wants everyone else to do well and to like he will like G up people and keep everyone on the right path and the narrow and say, yeah, come on, we've got to do this and that. He's on that. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone has that character. Gabriel's got that character. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our team are starting to get that character. Like Saliba's getting it, Gabriel's getting it. Obviously, Zinchenko's got it way too much. Like, as you know, Zinchenko's a madman, isn't he? But Rice has got that character. He's got that leadership qualities. He's got that quiet leadership, that serious leadership guy. So he's easily worth 100M, man. There's no two ways about it, fam. There's no two ways about it. Rice is also very marketable, being English in a good age, made a lot in shirts. So yeah, 100%. 100%. He's definitely marketable. Not only is he marketable, he's a good, you can tell he's one of the good guys, isn't he? He's a good person. You can tell that. He's one of them guys that he feels humble. He feels like he's one of us. He feels like I feel like he's one of them guys that if we said to him, oh yeah, come and jump on one of our streams, if he actually was able to, he would. Do you know what I mean? He seems like he ain't got an ego like that. I feel like he's one of them real humble brothers. And that's why he's marketable. And that's why we always send him out to the media. Whenever we've got a media anything, we just send Declan Rice out. We send Rice to go and face the cameras. I don't know why. I don't know why this whole Declan Rice to the cameras thing is a real thing. Like anytime we have anyone has to speak to the cameras, we just send Declan Rice out. Rice goes out there, and that's because he's able to deal with the media and speak well. He doesn't let his emotions get the better of him. So, yeah, the whole English thing is right, but I feel like the English team and all that underappreciate him though, man. I feel like he's underappreciated. All I ever hear is, yeah, we need someone to play in the 6th role. So like, it feels like Rice is the one that everyone feels like you have to try and figure out what to do with him. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? He's the 6th. Figure out everything else. Figure out where Bellingham's playing, if he's going to play in the 10 or the 8, or figure out Paul Palmer. Like, there's a few positions in the England team that I think should be certified. Declan Rice in the 6 is one of them. Like, that's certified. Another one is Saka on the right. That's official as well. There's some positions that I just feel this is who's playing and you play around it. Like, what's his name in the centre back? John Stones, he plays. That's as simple as that. Then you have players like Declan Rice in the 6. That should be solidified and certified. Saka on the right. That should be solidified and certified. And Harry Kane up front. That should be solidified and certified. I know a lot of people have this thing of, oh yeah, Kane shouldn't be playing and he drops too deep. And yeah, that's all well and good. But certain players and right now, these are the positions that I feel are just solidified. And Rice is one of them. Simple as that to me. Rice is our version of Henderson. He will do everything needed to win, no matter where he plays. 100%. 100%. How you meant to go and buy a player? You have to remember, you're buying a player. You're not just buying a player from West Ham. You're buying a player from West Ham, one that led them to their first ever European trophy in however long. That's historical moments. 2, I think it's their youngest ever captain. That's who you're buying from West Ham. You're not buying just Declan Rice. You're buying the character. That's what Arteta's big on. He's big on having the right character. That's why when he first came, Arteta got rid of all the Mavericks in our team. Ozil out, Aubameyang out, Lacazette out. He got rid of all them guys that he thought was gonna challenge his authority and challenge and lead the youngsters on the wrong path and get them to, like certain guys, all this turning up to training in super stylish Lamborghinis. Have you seen the France national team when they turn up to the international, whether the hotel, wherever they go? The France national team, they think it's a fashion show. They will think it's a fashion show. Arteta would not stand for that. I'll tell you that for free. Arteta and Guardiola, them and they're maniacs. Like, they're not having that. I even think Amorim is almost half like that, because Amorim was even talking about we need to do less press. Like, he's thinking, I ain't doing all this even the game yesterday against Bodo Glint. If you saw before the game, there was about 50 cameras. He's just standing there. There's about 50 cameras in front of him. And he's looking at it thinking, what is going on? He don't want all that. No, who wants to be there with 50, 60 cameras in front of you, looking at there, just smiling because the cameras are there just like that? You don't want that. You're trying to focus on the game. You're just standing there in front of the cameras. So, Yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel like Rice is underappreciated, man. Big up you, man. Big up Keros Key and big up Hooks. My Achilles, them. You know what I'm saying? My brothers. I still think Party is better, but Rice is solid for sure. He's better. He's better as a. He's been our best midfielder this season, yeah. And when you say better, better at different things. If we was to say now, I think that question, the best way to answer that question is, if you was to have one player, let's imagine they're both the same age, for example. If you was to choose one player for the rest of their career, who would you choose? Because it'll be hard for me to let go of Rice, purely because I feel like he can do things that Party can't do. I think Party can control games and can do that, but if there's another player that can control games better than Party on the other team, Party doesn't win that battle. Like, I've seen Partey lose battles, a lot of battles. Like, I saw him this season against Morgan Rogers. Rogers was just running through him. You know what I'm saying? Like, ran through him 3-4 times. I've seen Partey get dominated by Rodri. You know what I'm saying? Because Rodri's a better controller than Partey is. So I feel Rodri can dominate the ball better than Partey can. I feel like I've seen Partey not win midfield. I've never seen Rice dominated ever. I don't remember a game where I've seen people get the better of Declan Rice. For me personally, I mean, everyone's got their own opinions, but I don't remember a game where Declan Rice was dominated in whatever way, whatever you call domination. I've never seen it, so yeah, I don't remember it, to be honest with you. Last season he got goals and assists, and I didn't expect that from him, so it was a big bonus. Yeah. It was a big bonus, but he's still underappreciated. I should really go get a Hennessy. Really, I got Hennessy in my cupboard. I really should just go and grab a Hennessy. You get me? You know them way there. But yeah. He got goals and assists, and he got that, but that's because he was in obviously the right positions, the better positions. But that's definitely not his game. You know what I'm saying? We can't start judging him on goals. If he gets a few, he gets a few. But he's definitely the long-term six. But I think what Arteta's plan was to have Rice in the six, Marino in the 8. But Partey was just playing too well, and he's just forced Arteta to say, you know what, I can't even drop you right now, which is a good problem to have. But it just means that your plan has just been delayed a little bit, because all that's happening is now is Partey's been so good that you're now looking at it like, I might as well sign you on another deal, another year deal. And I wouldn't even sign him on another year. You see the way Partey's playing, I might give him 2 years. I might just say, let's just keep Partey for another 2 years. Because the how I see it as you got Rice as the 6, maybe. Because at some point we've got to transition him into the 6 at some point. Or he might just say, I'm happy to keep Rice, Partey, and Marino as the 3 battling up, which is a good mix for me. And whoever is playing, because sometimes if Partey's injured, Rice will go to 6, Marino will go in the 8. If Rice is injured, you just play Partey and Marino. It's a mixture of them. So I feel like that's a good mix that we've got. Because Marino's really stepping up. But I just feel like how I see it is, you got Rice, you got Marino, you got Partey. Now, if you've got Partey signing again, Jorginho becomes our El Neni, and then Partey becomes our Jorginho. You know what I'm saying? Which is a good squad depth. That's nice for me. Experience and good squad. I'll give Jorginho another year as well. Like, regardless of who we buy, I'll give Jorginho another year, and I'll give Partey another year or 2. So that's the only thing for me. I'd give them both. I'll sign them both. Rice has the best years ahead of him, and I'm sure he will, and Arsenal, or will be an Arsenal player for many years. Yeah, definitely. I hope so. But even if he's not to be an Arsenal player for many years, it's going to cost a hell of a lot of money to get him out of this club. That's for certain. It's going to cost him a hell of a lot of money. How much he'd be worth now? How much you lot tell me? How much do you lot think Declan Rice will be worth if we sold him today? How much do you think he'd be worth? How much do you think he'd be going for? What would you sell him for? Let me know. Depends what the team needs. Rice, Partey, and Jorginho have roles when it comes to DM. Arteta needs to use Jorginho more, but Rice needs more than he's getting, as he's the future. Needs more than he's getting in what way? When you say he needs more than he's getting, More than he's getting in regards to what? Rice, Part and Jorginho have roles when it comes to DM. Yeah, yeah. Arteta needs to use Jorginho more, but Rice needs more than he's getting as he's the future. Yeah, Rice is the future, but Rice plays every game. So when you say he needs more than he's getting, tell me what you mean by that? What do you mean he needs more than he's getting? What does he need? Brother, I think Partey is very underrated because of injuries, but he's undoubtedly one of the best midfielders in the league. Oh yeah, 100%. If Partey was fit all the time, he. I remember a couple seasons ago there was an argument, Partey, Rice, and Rodri when Rice was at West Ham. It was Partey, Rice, and Rodri, and I was always screaming Partey. But Partey's in. He was just injured for a couple years. A couple years he was injured for. Like he was injured and he was bit part, and we couldn't rely on him. It's only this season he's become fit, and it's like okay, we can see the best part. And obviously, it's going to take time to get your fitness back and then get up to match fitness. You know what I'm saying? So now that Partey's got into that, and Partey's even playing well when he plays right back. Like so, now that we've got Partey fit and he seems fit, but you just can't rely on him. Like you can't. There's no point trying to rely on injured players. Like even in the summer, when we get another chance, I will still be going for another centre midfielder. That's what I would do. I would need more in there just to compete in there and let Partey play bit part games and let Jorginho play bit part games. So that we still need more centre midfielders, man. As far as I'm concerned, we still need them in there. Partey's salary is high. How about Walton as the future behind Rice with Partey or Jorginho gone? I'm not a super fan of Walton. I'll be real. I think he's. I'm not. That's not. I'm not a super Walton fan like that. Like I know I can understand he's a good player and he's got good passing. It's not really who I want, man. I'll be real. I'm not gonna lie. Like he's gonna cost a hell of a lot of money as well from Crystal Palace. That's not. I don't. That's not. Walton is not. He's not at the top. I mean, he's a good player, but if you're looking at it like Rice in the 6, and Walton in the 8, that doesn't really fill me with much excitement. I'll be real. Right, Rice in the 6, Walton in the 8. That doesn't scream to me. Yeah, that I can't wait to see that midfield. You know what I mean? That's not it for me. That's not it for me. I mean, I could be wrong. But I don't see Rice in the 6, Walton in the 8 as a sublime midfield. Doesn't scream my excellence to me a little bit. I feel like I need a little bit more than that. It seems a little bit fragile-ish. It's not enough. Nah, it's not. Don't know, man. Doesn't fill me with too much excitement. I'll be real. I don't judge him on GA, but it was more to the point of the pundits say he needs to be that for 100. I was and still I'm happy we got him for 100 million. Yeah, 100%, bro. 100%. These pundits, you got to remember, these pundits, they're paid to talk, innit? So, like, you have to, like, sometimes you have to say something. Do you get it? Yeah, that's what a lot of people, that's why sometimes, even when I'm on streams and stuff like that, you get asked a question, you have to come up with an answer. You know what I'm saying? You have to say something. Sometimes I might be like, I ain't even thought about it. Give me some time to think. But when you're on the stream, you can't say that. You know what I'm saying? A man might say, "Oh, D, what do you think of like this thing, or what do you think of that topic?" I can't say, "Oh, one sec, give me like 30 seconds. Let me think about it and focus on it." You know what I mean? You got to answer straight away, and I feel like that's what happens with the pundits. The pundits on TV, especially, they're like they've got to say something in it. Do you get it? So sometimes when they're watching the game and thinking the game, they have to go, "Oh yeah, but he doesn't get enough for goals and assists," or "No, he doesn't do this or he doesn't do that." So I feel like that's what you got to do. You got to like sometimes you just got to say something in it, and I feel like sometimes it's alright to just say, "I don't know, I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. He's playing well." Like sometimes you don't have to come up with an answer. If you don't have the answer, you don't have the answer. Everyone's always looking for the answer, innit? You don't have the answer sometimes. Now they say, "Oh yeah, he needs more GA." Why? Why is he more GA? We were top at these times. We were top of the league. We were flying. He's scoring last minute goals. What do you need more GA for? Why? Because you say so? I don't know about that. So he needs more minutes as a DM with Marino and Odegaard. Oh, okay. Yeah. I get what you're saying. He does need more. He does need more GA. You say, or more minutes with Marino and Odegaard. He needs more minutes with Odegaard and Marino. He does he? Does he? I mean, I don't know if he actually does. I mean, you say he does, but does he actually? Or is it just what we think we want him to do? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he actually needs to have more minutes with them. I feel like you mean as Marino's 28, you know. It's not that Marino's not a kid. Marino's he's a old, he's not an old guy. He's in his prime now. So he's not a kid. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know if he needs more minutes with them. I just feel like Rice just needs to be on the pitch, whether it's the 8 or the 6, to be honest. Factoring all my points, he's definitely worth the 100 million played. Yeah. Paid, yeah, 100%. He's definitely worth the 100 million. 105 actually. West Ham got that little extra 5 out of us. The same way we didn't want to get we gave Luis Suarez 40 and £1 rubbish. Remember that? Because you believe that we would have been winning the league if we decided not to do that stupidness. But yeah. We definitely worth the 105 paid. Like no, without a shadow of a doubt. Nothing less than what we bought him for. Oh, this is the question of when you said how much would you sell him for, innit? Yeah. How much would you sell him for? I wouldn't even sell him for what we bought him for. I won't even sell him for that. I'll be real. I ain't selling him for what we bought him for, man. It's gotta be way more than that. For what we bought him for. No way. No way am I selling him for 105 million. No way. To buy Rice now, for me, like I'm gonna do another one of these after, or maybe down to see how much would you sell someone for. Like I would, if you was to sell, for example, now, like in a realistic one, how much would you sell Saka for example, or how much would you actually sell Declan Rice for? So if you was to ask me that question for real, how much would I actually sell Declan Rice for? The answer would have to be, how much would I actually sell Declan Rice for if the offer came in? Furthermore, let me do it with Saka because that one's tricky. How much would I actually sell Saka for if an offer came in for Saka today? So how much would I actually the price that I was selling for? That answer would have to be, to sell Saka, you'd have to give me 300. That's how much I would say you'd have to, for me. If you offered me 300 mil, I would sell Saka. Anything under that, I'm not selling him. And I'm being deadly. I'm trying to make it as realistic as possible. Like, if you gave me 300 mil, I'll sell Saka. But I ain't selling Saka for anything under 300. Like, one of this 120, 150, or no way. No. I'm not selling him for anything like that. So Declan Rice for me is probably just to buy Declan Rice now for me personally, for Arsenal to sell him, that would be, I'll say I can understand why you sold him. I don't care if they offer 150. I'll say don't you're not selling Declan Rice now. We need him. And it's not like we're a team that needs the money and all that. Our owners are rich and we need him. But I can understand if you offer 220 for Declan Rice, why the owners will be like, yeah, we need to take that. You know what I'm saying? But for Saka, it would have to be 300. Like if you offered me 300 million for Saka, I would understand. If you offered 250 and the owners took it, I'll be vexed. I'll be like, what are you doing? You don't need the money. No, you didn't know that for. But 300, I don't even know if I'd even want to sell him for 300. I'll be real. Zubimendi for Jorginho would be great. Yeah. Zubimendi's the guy. Zubimendi's that guy. You know what I'm saying? Even when he came on against England when Rodri was injured, or Rodri come off, Zubimendi just showed that he was the guy, man. He just showed that he can just carry on from where Rodri left off. Yeah, Zubimendi's that guy, man. Zubimendi's that guy. I would have him in the team immediately. Like, immediately. Like, without a shadow of a doubt. Like, so, yeah, Zubimendi's that guy. Like, no two ways about it. No two ways about it. I agree, and I can see it towards the latter end of the season when we got to manage Party's legs. Yeah, we got to manage Party's legs now, not the latter end of the season. We got to manage Party right now as we're speaking. Party needs to get managed now. There's no two ways about it. It's not a situation where you can't get managed. You got to think about, you got to get him through the whole season. You remember we got the Christmas period coming up. Like what Arteta's gonna do, which I'm assuming he's gonna do, he's gonna start playing. Uh, he'll start playing right back. I'm saying he'll start playing Party right back because Ben White's out. So sometimes Timber's gonna have to, because Timber's also a player that's been injured a couple times this season. Has been injured, so he'll start playing. He'll start playing Party right back and stuff like that. So Party, we have to manage Party right now. Like we got to start from early. There's no waiting to start like managing his minutes. We've got to start managing Party now because we need to, because he's playing so well. We've got to get him through the season, man. Like it's as simple as that. So yeah, Party's got to be managed now, bro. Like it's not none of this towards the end of the season stuff. You got to be managed now. Arsenal failed on many deals, 30 million and under, then 45 and up. We take risks on lower value players and haven't shown we can develop Sambi, Marquinhos, Nuno. That's true. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. We've taken risks, but you have to remember players like Marquinhos and those guys, they weren't really too expensive. But to talk about Sambi, yeah, Sambi was I even think Sambi could have stayed in a squad. I'll be real. I'm thinking Sambi could have stayed in a squad. I don't know why he's not. I don't know why he didn't stay in the squad even this year. I think what we need. Yeah, Sambi, Marquinhos, Nuno. You're talking about Tavares, yeah. Yeah, we failed on a few deals. Yeah, no, I agree. We failed on a few deals, and we take risks on lower value players, but we haven't shown we can develop. But then you can say that. What about Gabriel and Martinelli and Saliba? You know what I'm saying? These are gems. Like even the Raya one where he decided to get rid of Ramsey when everyone was up in arms. It's like everyone's forgotten about that. Every time we think, oh, he should have done this or he should have done that, he shows us, right, Raya, would you swap Ramsey for Raya now? I wouldn't swap Raya for anyone right now. Only person I'll probably swap him for maybe is Allison. I wouldn't swap him for anyone else. Nowhere. Like Allison's the only one I'll swap Raya for. So Arteta got that one right, but he definitely got Martinelli right. He definitely got he's obviously developed Saka well. He's got the Havertz one right. He's definitely got the Timber one. Like Timber, I can't believe we got a free run at Timber. I don't. That one there is still shocking me now. I don't remember. I can't believe how good Timber is. I don't know if people watch him as much as I do, or watch Arsenal as much as me, because obviously I'm an Arsenal fan, and obviously you ain't got time to watch Timber like that. But Timber, I can't believe how good he is. Like all now, I'm struggling to understand how we managed to get him so smoothly. Like I'm in shock. I don't understand how we got Timber so much, but yeah, I get what you're saying to develop players. But we have developed a few. Like we've got the Salibas, we've got the Gabriels. They've been developed perfectly. They're two of the best centre backs in the world. So, you know what I'm saying? I'd sell for 50 million when he turns 33. I hear that. I just feel we need to do that from the start of the season so Partey can finish season as strong as we've seen so far. I'm not sure he has 10 games in a stretch in him right now. Yeah, 100%, 100%. We need to manage him from the start of the season, not from the end, man. It's definitely a start of the season thing for him. It's definitely a start of the season for Timber. Not for Timber, for Partey. We got to manage him from early, like from now. Can't even play that game, man. Selling Shaka shouldn't be a fault. If you have winning trophies in the future, no one is selling Henry after he missed out on the Ballon d'Or. Saka is trending upwards. I want to see top. Yeah, 100%. I don't think they would sell Saka now anyway. I don't think our owners don't need money. Our owners don't need money, so money is not an issue for them. The issue is what I was just giving a scenario is if there was an offer that came in for Saka, what would you be accepting of the owners? Understand their point. My number is 300 million. If you said that someone came, if they said Saka's being sold tomorrow, but because someone offered 300 million, I'll be like, "Ugh," I'll be devastated. I'll be like, I understand because 300 million is a certain figure that I feel like I get why you would take that. Anything under that is no. I don't care if it's 299. No. 300, I can understand. You know what I'm saying? I can get it from your point of view. If someone's offering you 300, but Saka, yeah, he's unsellable, man. You're mad. We're not getting rid of Saka. Come on, bro. Let's be serious. Declan Rice is worth at least Hey, you should have said 106, fam. Declan Rice is worth at least 107 million. I hear you. And that one made me laugh, you know. Declan Rice is worth at least 107. Yeah, why? What did he do to get the extra 2 million? You need to tell me what he done to get the extra 2 million. I need to know why he got extra 2 million. You need to let me know, bro. 107, you know. You skipped 106, so you went up 2 million. Because of what reason, bro? You gotta let me know, man. Those deals, Martinelli, Gabriel, etc., were before Edu, but since not as much success. Fabio is latest, right? Fabio Vieira. Yeah, that one failed as well. That one's failed. Yeah, Fabio Vieira's failed. Yeah, of course, we know that. Martinelli, Gabriel. Yeah, they were before Edu Arteta, but I'm talking about. I don't think they were before Edu. I don't think they were all before Edu, but before Arteta, yeah. But I'm talking about developing, innit? That's what we're talking about. So I'm talking about how they've been developed. Because when Gabriel first came here, he was a bozo, innit? He was making mistakes left, right, centre, mistakes all day, rash challenges. You know what I'm saying? Arteta's, I mean, he's made him a serious, solid centre back. It's even to the point where he acts like a captain now. So yeah. I get what you're saying in that regard. I actually would be mad if we brought a right back in Jan due to White being out a few months. Or wouldn't be, as it would help manage Partey and Timber. Let Partey chew instead of playing right back. Yeah. I'm with you. 100%. But I feel like with that comment there, yeah, I think the issue wasn't so much Partey, right back, and Ben White. I think the issue was Tomiyasu. Because if you look at it really, like all of a sudden, everyone was talking about, oh yeah, Arteta's buying bare defenders. But all of a sudden, we need all these bare defenders. We're so lucky he bought bare defenders. Because 1 minute when Saliba was out, we could play Ben White centre back against Liverpool. When Timber got injured, we can play Tomiyasu. Now Tomiyasu's out. Because really and truly, our left backs are Kivior, Zinchenko, obviously Tierney, and Calafiori. And obviously, Kivior and Calafiori can play left centre back as well. But then the centre backs, you got Calafiori, you got Kivior, you got Gabriel. Then kind of right centre back, you got Ben White and Saliba. And then right back, you kind of got Timber and Ben White. So he got all the positions covered because even some of that place, you can also say it sometimes. Yeah, you can also play Timber centre back and Tomiyasu can play left back and centre back and right back as well. So, but because Tomiyasu's injured, it's messed up everything because Zinchenko was injured, Tomiyasu was injured, Ben White's not injured. So all of a sudden you're having to do makeshift. So everyone, all his plan is kind of gone out the way because guys are just injured all the time. You know what I'm saying? Tomiyasu's too injury prone. So Arteta's got a big decision to make. Are you going to stick by him? Because Tomiyasu is one of the most underrated defenders. So are you going to stick by Tomiyasu or are you just going to say, you know what, I need a right back that can be fit? But I think he'll stick by him. Because if Tomiyasu does get fit, Tomiyasu always plays for Japan, though. I don't understand. He's always away with international. I don't get it. He comes to Arsenal's injured, then goes to Japan. I don't understand. Like, he wants to go see his family and all that. So he's always fit. I don't get it. Arteta bought Gabriel. Yeah, I know. Oh, you're talking to the other guy. Yeah, Arteta bought Gabriel, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Arteta's home Gabriel well. Timber gives me Tierney vibes. When I first saw him, I knew once I saw them, that's what we need. And when healthy, they're produced. No. Timber's better than Tierney, bro. Timber's a different level to Tierney. Like different level completely. Like they're different brackets. Like when I first saw Tierney, I thought, yeah, he's a good player, but I never got like, oh, he's the guy. I didn't get that. Yeah, I didn't get the, oh yeah, we've got Tierney. Yes, Tierney. No. Tierney's a good defender, but that's about it. He's nowhere near Timber's level. Different, completely different brackets. Timber is playing at a world-class level right now. If Timber carries on playing like this, I said 2 seasons I'll give him world class. I'm giving him 1 season. That's how good Timber is. Timber's phenomenal. He's a different level to Tierney, my boy. Different level to Tierney. They're different brackets completely. Like Timber's he's as good as you're gonna get as a right back right now. Obviously, I'm gonna get back to the Declan Rice. Is he worth 100 million? Because, like I said, if you didn't hear me earlier, my plan that I had late tonight, I had a few things to do. It's been cancelled, not cancelled, but I didn't end up going to where I was going. So man might just stay on stream. I might do one of them 10-hour streams. You know them over there. You know them man there that do on streams for hours, blood. See how it goes. You get me? Depends what mood I'm in. I'll give you Gabriel. Oh, you don't have your own convo, innit? I hear it. That's what I like about this chat, man. People they just talk to each other, fam. Like, that's what I'm saying. You got to join the trenches, man. This is trench community, fam. You get me? This is the trenches, bro. You know what I'm saying? We're coming to the trenches, man. Oh, we forgot about Tomiyasu. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Skelly, give him minutes. Yes, it's risk to development, but he can take minutes of legs or starters. Yeah, of starters he can. But didn't you see him when he came on against Liverpool? That's the reason why we conceded the goal against Liverpool. Because it was Lewis Skelly and Kivior. And that's the reason why. If Gabriel and Timber were there, I don't think we conceded that goal. I feel like when Timber and Gabriel were there, Salah didn't have any joy. Not to say Salah can be stopped, because he obviously can't. But I feel like when Timber and Gabriel were there, but when Lewis Skelly came on, and that's what I mean about everyone always wanting these youngsters to play. They just want, bruv, we've had this before when we had Amari Hutchinson, we had Koza Dubry, we had what's the other one we had? Koza Dubry, Amari Hutchinson, we had another one. Like 3 of them just left in a space of about 6 months or something like that. The only one that's really pulling up trees is Amari Hutchinson. But I remember when Koza Dubry, everyone was saying, oh yeah, you need to Koza Dubry, yeah, he should be playing. Where's Koza Dubry now? Like everyone just says, oh yeah, the youngsters should be playing, but they don't even know why. They just say it because they want a youngster to be on the pitch. Listen, you got to give these guys time and let them bed in, bruv. Let these man bed in. Like if Lewis Skelly, I can promise you, if Lewis Skelly was playing left back for Arsenal every game, he would be the weakest in the team. I can guarantee you that to you. If Lewis Skelly was playing left back and like we didn't play Zinchenko there and we had Lewis Skelly left back, whatever, he would be the weak link in the team. Like I can promise you that. Like I know you feel like, yeah, he can handle it and whatever. You can handle it until you're in the first team and we actually need to win the game. Then all of a sudden it's Lewis Skelly's not good enough. You know what I'm saying? You need to give these guys time, fam. Lewis Skelly's not ready to be relied upon. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of people ahead of him anyway. You got Zinchenko, Kivior, Calafiori, maybe even Tierney. Like all of them are ahead of Lewis Skelly. Like Lewis Skelly, obviously, he's in the squad and he's around the first team now, but they're all ahead of him. Like Lewis Skelly's bottom of that pecking order left back. So yeah, you know what I'm saying. Tierney was better. What we had, Timber is better than what we had. Both were boost to our talent at left back. Yeah. I hear that. They were. They were both better, but Timber's better than Timber. I mean, Timber's better than Tierney. That's for certain. Like without a shadow of a doubt. Lewis Skelly with starters around him is good. Kivior near him is risky. And Whenever with starters around him works too. Trossard near him. 100%. 100%. Like, that's a fact. Like, them guys around certain players, they're always going to be, they're different levels, isn't it? So, that's the thing. But when it comes down to, we're going for the title. So, we can't have certain players around it. In my opinion, Rice has done more to justify it. The thing is about Rice, let me get back to the actual topic, which is Rice, the 100 million. Is he worth 100 million? Now, I need people to explain to me what it is that, what more do you actually want him to do? Because I feel like people, like I say, I've been saying for a minute, are talking about him on the ball. So, and I feel what we're not rating about him on the ball is there's two versions of sixes that control the game. Yeah. So you got one of them that is like a party, that forward play and everything's quick, 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 and it makes your team flow and exciting attacking football. But then you got the other version of it, which is like really slow and slows it down and controlled. And do you know what I mean? You got that version as well. Like Rodri and Partey are two different players. Rodri is more of he's definitely a tempo setter and dictates the game, but he doesn't play quick like Partey does. Rodri's like, let's take time. We've got ages for this. I feel like Declan Rice is more like that, where he's more like on a passive approach, and he kind of takes his time to control the game and takes his time and takes his time. And when he feels like he got the right pass, then he will play it. And I feel like you need both in a team. Like that's the difference between a Xavi and Busquets and an Iniesta. That's why they work so well, because Busquets was more like Rodri, where he took ages, it took a while to kind of build it up and sustain pressure. And then Xavi was kind of similar to that, whereas Iniesta was the guy that would quicken it up. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like Rice is the type of guy that is really slow in his build-up play. And I feel like when we're chasing a game, it probably doesn't help. But when we're winning a game, or we're playing like at Anfield, for example, where the game can fly by and Liverpool all over, they're swarming all over you, or we're playing Man City, sometimes you do need that not slow, but that more measured approach. Because Rice is a measured approach guy, isn't it? Like he can kind of slow the game down. He kind of like he will make passes. Because what Rice does, he will make a pass, and then he doesn't really pass to for you. Like sometimes, yeah, he makes passes, yeah, and you're thinking like, oh, like the way you've passed that ball, the guy can't really do anything with that ball. Do you know what I mean? You know, sometimes how you pass the ball will determine what that player does with the ball. I'm not sure if people know what I'm saying. I'm like how I give you the ball will determine what I want you to do with that ball. Do you know what I'm saying? So sometimes Odegaard, like if a player's running through and is quite tight, Odegaard will fizz the ball in quickly to certain players because he wants that player to take it in his stride to be able to break the lines. Stuff like that. Rice is one of those players. So sometimes he will give the ball to players like on their back foot because he wants the ball back. Trossard does it a lot as well, but Trossard's more selfish. Trossard will give the ball to get the ball back all the time, but Rice will give the ball to you, whereas Partey always gives the ball in front of you to go forward, and sometimes it's not the right time to be sprinting forward like that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, yeah, there's a difference between when Saka's on the right, Odegaard is perfect at this. What Odegaard will do, sometimes he plays the ball to feet to Saka because he knows Saka wants it to feet to beat the man. Sometimes he'll play the ball through because he knows Saka wants to go through and start running with the ball. Partey doesn't really have. Partey's the type of guy that he always wants you to run with the ball. Do you know what I'm saying? If you know what I mean, he always plays the ball for you to go that way. Whereas Rice, sometimes he will be like, no, let's just steady the ship a little bit. Let me give you the ball, but I'm borrowing you the ball. You know what I'm saying? I'm not giving you. It's a borrow. I'm borrowing you the ball. You know what I'm saying? Rice will let you borrow the ball. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't give you the ball. Partey gives you the ball. Rice will let you borrow the ball. I'll give you the ball for a little 3 or 4 seconds, but you need to give me that ball back. That's what Rice does. And he does that really well. Like he'll control the game, but in a more measured approach. So I feel like that's more what he does. You know what I'm saying? Pep's system restricts the roles Grealish played before he arrived at City. Rice is allowed to influence Arsenal, similar to what he did at West Ham. I don't think it's quite what we did at West Ham, though. I feel like at West Ham he had more influence than at Arsenal. Like at Arsenal, he hasn't quite got the influence that he has at West Ham. I'll be real. Like at Arsenal, he's part of a machine. At West Ham, he was the machine. It's a little bit different. Like when he was at West Ham, he was the one that was expected to win the ball back. He was the one that was expected to drive forward. He was the captain. he was the one that anytime they beat a top team, he was man the match. Anytime a team won 5-1 and there was a stand-up performance, it was Declan Rice. Anytime a team played against West Ham and they had a tough game, it was because of Declan Rice. He was the reason for everything in that team. At Arsenal, he hasn't got that much responsibility. Like he's responsible. He's now more of a, like, he's part of a system now. So, but his attributes suit our system because he can win the ball back. There's no substitute for winning the ball back. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he's not quite as influential at Arsenal as he is at West Ham. In fact, he's not even nowhere near that, to be honest. At Arsenal, he's just got to just play the role. At West Ham, he was West Ham. You know what I'm saying? He's still underappreciated now. West Ham, they boo him now. I thought when he left West Ham, he would get like standing ovations. I can't believe the West Ham fans boo him. Like, they want him to be loyal to them. For what? Why? But you don't want him to ever play at the top level? I don't understand. He got you £105 million. From that £105 million, you've managed to go and get some seriously good players like Kudos and all them guys. And I'm not sure if they bought Paqueta with him as well. I think they might have. I'm not sure. You've gone and got some good players. You've got a strong team. I remember when he first left, West Ham were like, oh, they even got, I remember when they got Ward-Prowse with him as well. I remember they said, oh, we sold Declan Rice and now we've got better. Do you remember that? When Ward-Prowse was doing really well, when they were like, yeah, we sold Declan Rice, now we've got a better team. I don't know if you remember that. They said, yeah, we've got a better team now we sold Declan Rice. And now we've managed to use that team to invest and we've got a better team now. That's what they were saying. So all of a sudden, it's like they're not happy about it. You know what I'm saying? They're not happy about it. They're just upset. I feel like West Ham fans are really bitter about the Declan Rice. And I feel like that's the same issue that will happen with Bowen. If Bowen wouldn't be able to leave that team now. You know what I'm saying? West Ham are too bitter. They're too bitter for that. But I don't know why. They've just decided to have a rivalry with us for no reason. I don't know why West Ham fans have got a rivalry with Arsenal randomly. I don't really know why. I don't know what it is. Like, he left. He gave them an extra year. Remember when he was wanting to, they were talking about him leaving, then he goes, no, what? I'll leave a year later. He gave them an extra year. In that extra year, they won the Europa League, the Intercontinental or Conference League or whatever it is. He gave them an extra year. He left on good terms, especially with the owners. He got them 105 million. Arsenal do their dealings the right way, as we know. We're not tapping him up or any of that stuff. He wanted to stay in London. You know what I'm saying? He wants to stay in London. Obviously, he's just had a new baby. He doesn't want to be traveling all over the country. You got Arteta's got a project that looks appetizing to players. That we're challenging for titles, so we're a prestigious club. So, excuse me. Why do you want to have a rivalry with Arsenal over that? There was no bad blood to me. That wasn't a bad blood. It wasn't a Sol Campbell to Arsenal thing, was it? There's no bad blood with the Declan Rice thing. But West Ham, they're bitter. And I actually don't get why. They're really angry with Declan Rice. And I feel like it's a bit shameful. I don't think it's fair. So that's what my thing is. I don't know, but I feel like he's definitely worth the 100 million. Like, there's no two ways about it. He's definitely worth. I think like the Caicedo transfer and what Caicedo's doing is worth putting it a little bit onto other things. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a little bit like putting it onto, he should be doing what Caicedo's doing. But the difference is, Caicedo's playing for a team where last 2 years they were in turmoil. So you're playing for a team that was in turmoil, but all of a sudden, because you're playing well in that team, it's like the standards are different. Rice was challenging for the title for the last couple of years or whatever. He's been challenging for the title, so obviously what he's doing is going to be a little bit more. It's going to be a little bit more scrutinized, isn't it? What Rice is doing is going to be a little bit more scrutinized, isn't it? Like, that's the truth of it. Rice is going to be a little bit more scrutinized, but as far as I'm concerned, he's worth the money twice over. Like no two ways about it. He kind of he's as good as we're gonna get, man. He's as good as we're gonna get for what we need. Like, and we need him. Like, there's like we need Declan Rice in our team. He won't be the one to be dropped though. I know a lot of people keep saying, "Oh yeah, he needs to be dropped," and maybe he it won't be Declan Rice that gets dropped. Trust me, that's not gonna happen. Declan Rice ain't getting dropped. Like, people might want him to get dropped. They might feel like he should get dropped, but it won't be him that gets dropped. It will be other people before him. Like, that's just the truth of it. He does everything that you need to do as a £100 million player. Does he need more goals and assists? Mm, it wouldn't harm to get more. I mean, Rodri gets a few here and there, but I don't know. Did Rice score more than Rodri last year? I don't know. Let me check if Rice scored more than Rodri. Let me double check if Rice scored more than Rodri. 'Cause I don't actually know. I want to double check who scored more last season. Or I need to check because Rice. You say Rice needs to get more goals and assists, but I'm not too sure. Let me see. In regards to West Ham, Arsenal need to quiet that crowd and empty the stadium, home fans at half time. Then let Ranieri go do work. You see what? You see this thing of Ranieri? I'm not even thinking about Ranieri, bro. Like, Ranieri has got nothing to do with anything. If Ranieri comes on and we're in a position where we can bring him on, then cool. But don't even start thinking like you're thinking way ahead of how we're thinking. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, West Ham, we've got West Ham, right? Like, West Ham have been on a bad run of form until last week, where they beat Newcastle away from home, and they had a good performance away from home as well. It wasn't just a result; they had a good performance. So they have a good performance against Newcastle. Yeah, they beat Newcastle. They're coming into this game with confidence, and they're gonna attack us as well. So you see what happens when a team attacks us. Normally, we get a lot of space. We can score goals as well, but also it allows like crazy things to happen when a team attacks us. You know what I'm saying? Penalties and like Bowen will be, and these guys will be running at Calafiori, and Calafiori is susceptible to being taken on. Like, Calafiori is a front foot defender, so he gets an early yellow card. All of a sudden, it's all nervy. Like, especially the way West Ham play, they attack. So yeah, we will get chances. We're definitely going to create some chances, but we need to take the chances. That's the main thing tomorrow, because we're going to get a lot of chances, but it's whether we can take them. Like, that's I feel like it's going to be where the game is won or lost. Like, the West Ham fans are already, even though they won against Newcastle, they're already irritated. The West Ham fans are on the verge of, they're always on the verge of writing, isn't it? Like, that fan base it's a real toxic fan base. You know what I'm saying? Like, West Ham fans, they're really like, they're kind of like Arsenal fans in a way. Like, they're kind of all in cloud cuckoo land, isn't it? West Ham and Arsenal are quite similar. Like, they both think they're bigger than they are. They both think that players should be loyal to them no matter what. They both are just a bit all over the place. Both fan bases are toxic, isn't it? Like, Arsenal fan base, if you lose a few games, is Arteta out, banners start coming out, and airplanes over the stadium. West Ham, they wanted them. They win the Conference League. Nah, they like David Moyes is not playing good football. Get him out. And I'm like, whoa, he's just won you a European title. What is going on? Yeah, he doesn't play good football. Get him out. They bring a guy in that plays good football. He's losing games. Get him out. You know what I mean? It's just all over the place, man. It's just all. There's just no structure to how the fans think in both fan bases, whether it's West Ham or Arsenal. Both these fan bases, like, the game tomorrow is a game of two toxic fan bases. Like, that's what it is. Both fan bases are toxic. Both fan bases don't know what they want. Both fan bases are in la la land. Do you know what I'm saying? Both of them think they're bigger than they are. Both of them think they have a right to players no matter what. Like, they're both in cuckoo land, isn't it? So it's just a cuckoo land match. That's the truth of it. Both of them, like, because if Arsenal lose, you'll see Arsenal fans going mad. If West Ham lose, they'll go back to them going mad because West Ham are like, oh, Lopetegui needs to go now, and they've been on that for a minute. Then he beats Newcastle. You don't hear it for so long. You don't hear it. If you lose to Arsenal, they want him to go again because as far as they're concerned, they should be beating Arsenal. That's how they feel. Arsenal now, on the other hand, if we don't beat West Ham, see, that's what I'm saying. Like Liverpool got Man City, we can't even think about not beating West Ham because it's a win-win for us if we win because our game's first anyway. So I mean, out of the team, so we're playing at 5:30 tomorrow. Now we beat West Ham. All of a sudden, Man City and Liverpool might draw. We're 7 points behind Liverpool. All of a sudden, it doesn't look so bad. If we don't beat West Ham, we go into the Man United game. If we draw with West Ham and Liverpool win, for example, we're now 11 points behind Liverpool. And we've got Man United next. It's a completely different game. All of a sudden, the Man United game becomes ridiculously big. And it doesn't just seem like we're in the title race anymore. Like 7 points is okay. 11 just doesn't feel right. 11 points behind Liverpool doesn't feel right. So we need to definitely beat West Ham. And not just beat West Ham. We need to because we've been playing well. And we know that they're going to have a hard time stopping Odegaard and Saka. Because even now, Martinelli's come back into form a little bit. Martinelli's scoring goals now. Havertz is playing well. So, but we have to stop. Paqueta's a big problem. Like that's the player that I wanted. When we was talking about, it's only because of his betting charges why people have not gone for him. But if it wasn't for those betting charges, that's who I wanted. I didn't want Marino. I wanted Paqueta. That's who I wanted. That was the guy. I didn't want Bruno Guimaraes either. That's not who I wanted. I didn't want everyone to say, yeah, Bruno Guimaraes. I don't want Bruno Guimaraes. I don't want Guimaraes. I don't want I want Paqueta. That's who I wanted. I want Kudos and I want Paqueta. And obviously, either of them are going to cost 100 million each a piece, guaranteed. But Paqueta's betting charges obviously slowed as well. He would have been at City now. If Paqueta wasn't on betting and all of that stuff, he'd be at City. That's what would have happened. He would have been at City at the beginning of the season because that's where he was going. So, and he is what's going on with his betting charges anyway? Like, does anyone even know what's going on with that? Because he's still playing. But he's who we've got to stop. Like Paqueta's who we've got to stop. Like he is such a brilliant player. He's a dirty player though. He's dirty and rough, but he's brilliant. Right. And that's who we've got to keep the ball away from. And unfortunately for us, Paqueta's on the side of the Odegaard, the Sakas and all that. Like he plays on that side, innit? So I kind of want to keep the ball away from him because if there's anyone that can get the ball and then create something, it's him. And I kind of want to get the ball away from him, but Paqueta's just a brilliant player, man. So that's who I wanted. I wanted Paqueta to play in that left 8. That's exactly what I wanted. And I think that Arteta probably would have wanted that as well. It would have cost 100 million. That's fine. But the betting thing just stopped that in its tracks. So yeah, I still expect Rice though to turn up tomorrow. I don't think he's not a character that will shy away from this game. Like Rice will want to play against West Ham. Like they're gonna be booing him. Like they're gonna be booing Rice. They're gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be Konate out. Is he out? I didn't know he was out. Well, what's the injury update with that? I didn't even know he was out. Let me check that. I didn't know Konate was out. How long is he out for? I didn't know he was out. Yeah, that's big. Who would play if Konate's out? Who would play though? Would it be Gomez or I don't know. I didn't know Konate was out. I know he went down or was injured or he was holding his leg or something. I didn't know he was actually out though. But yeah, tell me who comes in for that one. If he's out, that's big for you lot still. I'll get onto that in a minute. I'll get onto Liverpool Man City in a minute. I'll get onto that. like I said, I've just got a little bit of time tonight. Innit? I was gonna go out, but I'm not going out no more. So I've got a little while. 6 weeks out. No way. No way is Kanate out for 6 weeks. I ain't seen that. Kanate, how do you know he's out for 6 weeks? I've not seen that anywhere. How do you know that? No way is Kanate out for 6 weeks. Oh, he is out for 6 weeks. Oh. Yeah. I was off the internet. I ain't been on the internet like that. You see me? I'm not really a guy that sits on the internet like that. I'll come and do streams and that, but I don't sit on the internet like that. You know what I'm saying? 6 weeks out. Kanate's out for 6 weeks. Oh my days. That's the whole Christmas period, you know? What games does he miss then? No ways, Kanate. I can't believe that. What games does he miss? Kanate's out for 6 weeks. When did that news break then? Oh, he's gonna miss a lot of games, isn't he? 6 weeks out. That's the whole Christmas period. Let me check this right now. Can't believe that. So he misses the Man City game, obviously. Then he misses the Newcastle game away. He misses Man City. He misses Man City Sunday. Then he misses Newcastle away. Then he misses Everton away. So those 2 games are big anyway. Newcastle away is hard. And then Everton away. I mean, obviously, that's a derby. He misses Girona away. You lot are flying in the Champions League anyway. Then he misses Fulham at home. Probably can still scrape through that one. You got Southampton away. That's cool. That's in the quarter. That's in the cup. Then he misses Tottenham away. Oh. Then he misses Leicester at home. Probably can scrape through that. He misses West Ham away. Probably still scrape through that. Then you got Man United. You don't even know what Man United will be in 6 weeks. So how many? What's that? Oh, still got more. Then he misses Brentford away. And then maybe comes back for the... he's probably going to still be out from that. Then he'll probably be out for the, I don't know, LOSCs in the Champions League. Then you got Ipswich at home. You'll probably get through that. PSV away. Yeah, he'll probably come back for roughly around the Brentford away game if it's 6 weeks out. But if you're looking on to keep it really clear, he'll probably be back for the first Champions League game, which is LOSC, whoever that is, maybe Ipswich, end of Jan. Oh my word. I did not even know that. See, misses Man City. Even this period here is tough. Man City home, Sunday, misses Newcastle away, and then Everton away. That's tough. And then he's definitely going to miss, obviously, Fulham home, Tottenham. Whoa. Whoa. Boy, oh boy. That's a big problem. Konate out means more stress on Virgil van Dijk. Can he handle it? But he will have all else. I'm not happy for injuries, but what it means for Liverpool's success or lack thereof, I like that. What do you mean you like that? What do you mean you like injury? I don't obviously man don't like people getting injured, but what do you mean you like that? Man said don't hide your smile. That is so funny. You know what though? You gotta remember, yeah, it's not even that. Do you know what it is for me, yeah? When I was saying to people we had injuries and red cards and stuff, everyone was saying no excuses, you build a squad for injuries. That's just, you know what I mean? It's just easier to say, innit? So it's like, okay, cool. As long as everyone keeps the same energy for whatever team, I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, I understand that injuries are a big part of the game. And I understand that when you ain't got your best players there, you're not going to play the same. Simple as that. Like when we had Saliba out and Timber out and Saka out and Odegaard out and all of these players out, everyone was telling me, yeah, but injuries are part of the game. There's no excuses. I'm like, okay, fine, no problem. Can't tell me Konate being out is not a big thing. He's been their best defender this season. Of course, it's a big thing. How can it not be? And not only that as well, like what Slot said, he's a dual monster, isn't he? He's a dual guy. So, you know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden, you got Konate out, and you got like a little bit weaker on the right hand side. You can just say, let's attack on that side or stay away from Van Dijk completely. So yeah, it's a big thing, man. No, I'm not smiling, but watch Mont's chest cave back in from now. Yeah. Mont's is my guy though. You know what I'm saying? He's like a, Mont's thing. He kind of like he kind of gets like, like when he starts talking about Liverpool and that, he's like a guy that will get under man's skin because he kind of makes the jokes and gets to man. You know what I'm saying? But he's a good guy still. You know what I'm saying? He always shows man love and all that as well. You know what I'm saying? So you have to big up Monts 24/7. You get me? Like he definitely, like especially off camera, he proper shows man love. You get it? So yeah, more stress on Virgil van Dijk. Yeah, he can handle it though. Van Dijk can handle. Van Dijk's the best. See, this is another thing. Van Dijk to me is the best defender I've ever seen. And I've seen all of them. I've seen Nestor's and the Cannavaros and the Maldinis, but Van Dijk is the best defender I've ever seen, innit? So that's just what I think. Like, he's the best defender I've seen, innit? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no bias in that. Like, he's the only defender that I would take to replace Gabriel. If someone said to me tomorrow, okay, replace Gabriel with Van Dijk, we're like, yeah, of course. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like we've had injuries, innit? So I like Liverpool's failures, i.e. poor results. Drop points is drop points. That's the only way we get back into the chase. But we've got a good part. We got to do our part for it no matter. Yeah. We got to do our part. Our part is we have to beat West Ham. Like at the end of the day, we got to beat West Ham. Like we got to just focus on our game, man. Because it's all well and good Konate being out and we don't win the game. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they can still beat Man City with Konate out. Don't think they can't. Like they still got their main goal scorer in the team. They still got their main players. So I'm doing a watch along for. I'm doing a watch along for the Arsenal West Ham game anyway. I want to start doing watch alongs now. I weren't doing them before, but I'm gonna start now. So man can see me, because there's only so much I can say on the stream. You know what I'm saying? When man's doing watch alongs, when man's actually sitting down doing a watch along, I can actually just be myself and watch the game. I'm not really gonna be sitting there talking to the camera though, because that's not really my thing. That's not what man's about. But man will definitely, you'll see me like really what I'm like when the game's on. You get me? So I feel like that's another part that man has to just get involved in, because you'll see how man is and how passionate man is and what I say at the time. You get it? So I feel like watch-alongs are a big part that man hasn't been doing, innit? But I'm going to start doing them. It's not easy for me because I like watching the actual game, innit? But I'll do it, man. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. The Arsenal African fan base juju is very strong. Trust me, I'm from there. Where are you from in Africa, though? Whereabouts in Africa? I've been to Africa a couple of times. You know, I'm Caribbean, innit? I'm St. Lucian, but I've been to Africa still. I went Zimbabwe and I went Ghana. But let me know where you're from in Africa, innit? I said Virgil van Dijk next. Praying for man's downfall. Salah had me poppies on the wish list. Salah don't drink or nothing. He ain't getting injured anytime soon. Salah ain't getting injured anytime soon, my guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, trust me. I can't believe Konate is out for 6 weeks. That threw me off still. Konate out for 6 weeks is crazy. I can't believe that. I didn't know he was. It's a big deal. Konate being out is a big deal, fam. It's a big deal because Konate being out means that it just puts a little bit of doubt into people's minds, you know, like, and especially as like, I don't know, that's why Arteta never ever reveals injuries, because he doesn't want people to feel like, yeah, we've got one up on, or we can create a tactic or anything like that. So Konate being that, it's a big deal. I can't believe that. I'm still in shock. 6 weeks is a long time. And 6 weeks, 6 weeks, it doesn't mean 6 weeks on the dot. That could really mean 8 weeks, you know what I'm saying? So that's on the dot. Oh, Mali. Okay. Mali, yeah. That's different to Somalia, isn't it? It's a different spot. It's a different place to Somalia, isn't it? From Mali, yeah. Let me know what the difference between what's the difference between, obviously I know it's a different country and that, but how far apart is Somalia and Mali? Or how different is it? Because I know it's a different place anyway. I said their backup keeper is solid enough. Yeah, backup keeper is solid enough. But is their backup right centre back solid enough though? Like Konati's been their best centre back. Like, and he wins a lot in the air, and he wins a lot of. So it's a different game now. Where Haaland he couldn't really peel onto one of the centre backs because they're both just as strong and quick. Now we can think, oh, let me just stay away from Van Dijk. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So yeah, man said I think Mali is east and Somali is west and Somalia is east. You think? What aren't you? Oh, it's the wrong guy. I was say, what do you mean you think? And you're not from there, bro. Oh yes, the other guy. Yeah. You think Mali is west and Somalia? Yeah, you might be right. I'm not really 100% sure. Living in Cyprus, I know as much as you. Hey, don't kill me, man. I was in Cyprus last year, you know. I went to for a wedding. I went to Larnaca. Is it Larnaca or Lanaka or something? Yeah, Lanaka. That's where I was. I was at one of them. Too hot there though, man. Like we was there when I was going there. They were saying about there's a lot of bushfires and all that. But you know me, I'm like, yeah, it's cool. I've been to hot countries before. I don't really like the heat too much. I was like, cool, bruv. It was too hot over there. Like I'm talking about blazing heat. And there's no clouds. There's never a time when you get a little bit of break from the sun. It's blazing hot from about 7 in the morning. Like 7 in the morning. I was there. Where was I there? I was there in August, bruv. Blazing hot all day. Like it's unbearable heat though for me. You see me? I don't like that type of heat, man. Like you can never have enough clothes because you're dripping a sweat every minute. You can't have enough showers. You got too much like heat. You ain't got enough bottles of water. You know what I'm saying? Even if you have a water bottle, the bottle gets hot in about 5 minutes. Yeah, problem. Yeah, it's too hot over there. It's too hot in Cyprus, man. Like too hot. It was like when I was there, it was like 41 or 42 degrees or something like that. And I was like, what's happening there with this heat, man? Like it was unbearable to me. Like man's walking around with a towel on my head and all that, you know, like to block the sun, and that was too hot, fam. Like the shade is like 37 or something. Too hot, man. Too hot. It's too hot in Cyprus. Cyprus is baking hot. Like, I don't know how many people have been there, but it's too hot. Like too hot for me. Definitely too hot for me. But I've got the geography of an American. That's my guy that's sitting inside, isn't it? Oh, my G. Don't come in the summer, big mistake. Yeah, I came in the summer. It was in it was August. It was for the wedding. It was for a wedding. It was so hot in Cyprus, man. It hit 48 degrees last June. Yeah, that's when I was there. No, I was in there August. So I was there around that time. Like Cyprus is, I don't think it's like the conditions are livable, man. I mean, like it's like to me, it's just too hot. You know what I'm saying? It's too hot. Like you can't live in places like that, man. I mean, I went Florida. I've been Florida. That was hot. But Cyprus was just unbearable heat, man. I went Jamaica last year as well. Again, hot again. But unbearable heat in Cyprus, man. Unbearable heat, man. It's too hot. It's 40 odd degrees and all that. That's too mad for me. Like everywhere is air conditioned. Like it's different. When you walk in, like I'm in a hotel. When you're outside, it's baking hot. As soon as you walk in, it's like freezing cold. And it's like, oh, it's like a relief. It's like two completely different. You know what I mean? It's madness. But yeah, too hot for me. Too hot for me still. I can't be out there for too long. I was there for 10 days. Unbearable. Big up Monts, but his hatred for Martinelli is too much. Yeah, big up Monts, man. That's my guy, fam. But he can hate Martinelli as much as he likes because it's easy to hate your another team's player, isn't it? But the difference is with Martinelli can prove everyone wrong if he just carries on scoring. Because right now he scored against Chelsea. Then he had a good game. What was the game in between? No, he scored again against, was it Nottingham Forest? He scored against Nottingham Forest. No, Sporting. He didn't play Nottingham Forest. Yeah, Sporting. He scored against Sporting last game, and he scored the first goal, key goal, innit? So you can hate Martinelli as much as you like, but as long as he's doing what he has to do, he'll prove everyone wrong. Because when Martinelli 2 years ago, Martinelli was he was like scored like 15 goals or something. We need Martinelli back to. That's why I said you can play Martinelli into form, because we need him to score goals. We need him to take the burden off Saka. We need him to take the burden off Odegaard. We need the burden off Havertz. We need Martinelli to be in form. If Martinelli's on form, it helps everyone in our team. So if he plays on form, and he's an outlet, innit? He works hard, he's an outlet. He will save us as well, because I'm thinking now we need another £100 million player to replace Martinelli. But if Martinelli hits form, he actually saves us that 100 million. You know what I'm saying? So we need him to hit form immediately. Immediately. Oh, you hate Liverpool because of Mons? There's more than just Mons with Liverpool, bro. You got a whole city over there, my guy. Don't worry about that. You mean you just want to have to laugh at him on streams? That's basically what you mean, isn't it? I hear you. But yeah, nah, Liverpool, right? So the electricity bill is the worst part. The electricity bill with what? What are you talking about? Electricity bill with what, my guy? Electricity bill is the worst part of what? Of Cyprus you're talking about, or because it's hot, it's too hot in Cyprus, man. So you mean the aircon? What are you talking about? Let me know what you're talking about, my G. What are your thoughts on Turkey? Listen, it's easy to like play with skills, isn't it? Because Turkey plays with skills. Turkey is a skillful player. He plays with skills. He kind of does all these things. But he's a very, very, very lazy player. It's very different. Like, that's what I was saying to a lot of people. It's very different. This day and age is a different way of playing. Like, there's no more street footballers. So the level of skill and that you need nowadays, you don't actually need it. He's got individual brilliance, but that individual brilliance that he's got in the team will irritate a lot of managers, because you're going to lose the ball a lot if you play like that. Like, you play against Man City and you're doing all these, not tricks and that, because he's good on the ball, but you're doing all these like things and you're trying to do things, you're going to end up giving the ball away to Man City 5 times out of 10. You won't get the ball back for 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So against the smaller teams, I guess so, but against the bigger teams, that level of skill that he has, that individual brilliance that he has, can make the difference in tight games, but it can also make the difference in going the other way. And all it takes is for him to have 1 or 2 bad passes in a bad game, lose the ball, team goes in attack, and it's like, yeah, that's not what we need. Because you lose that ball, it's going to be a problem. You can't be losing the ball against Man Cities and the Arsenals and that. You don't get the ball back for a while. So, good player, obviously talented player, isn't it? Cirque is a talented, very, very, very talented player. But I need to see more than what I've seen. A lot of people, they like to just gas up player just because they saw him do 1 or 2 skills. I'm not like that. Like, see me, I need like, I mean, is he better than a Ben Arthur? Is Shirky better than Ben Arthur? Like, I don't know if he is. Ben Arthur to me was one of the most talented players I've seen. So I don't know if Shirky is better than Ben Arthur to me. Like, he definitely isn't a Hazard. I'm talking about those type of players that can decide games on their own, innit? That dribblers with the ball, that can kind of do things with the ball. Because Shirky's not, even though he dribbles with the ball, he's not really a dribbler. He's more of a skills man. You know what I'm saying? Shirky's more of a guy that can beat you with skill and 1-2s and skillful play. He's not really a dribbler. He's not quite a Hazard or a Ben Arthur. Them man there, they run at players like that. Shirky's more of a get the ball and do a couple skills, a few step overs, a couple of tricks to get past you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's I don't know. It depends. It depends. Cardio is coachable. Tech like that isn't teachable. Yeah, 100%. Tech like that isn't. You can't teach that. But what you can do is teach the tech out of a player. Do you get it? There's no manager now in this day and age that will let Ryan Shirky play the way he's playing in their system. in the Premier League. Not anyone. The only team that I think would let him flourish like that is probably Man United now, like because they're playing in one of the 10 positions. Like Amarin might say, yeah, you can go and do your thing in that position, but there's no team in the Premier League, like I'm talking about Arsenal, Man City, or Liverpool, that would let him play the way he's playing now. Like he would have to fit the structure of the team. So yeah, cardio is coachable. You can't say cardio is coachable. You mean you can work on it, but you have to actually work on it. It's easy to say you can work on it, but how many man do you think are waking up every day and making sure that their cardio is top drawer, or making sure they don't drink? Like, because you have to remember these men are human beings. Loads of them probably go back on after a certain game, a Friday night. Their game's on Sunday. It's not on Saturday. They're not training on a Saturday. They might go in for a little warm up, something. As soon as they finish and they ain't got a game for one day, they might have a little pizza, or they might say, yeah, I'll have a couple of beers today. I'll have a rum today. You know what I'm saying? That happens. It's real life. I'll have a cigarette today. I don't think players like Odegaard and Declan Rice are doing that. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think those guys are having I'll have a little cheeky cigarette, or I'll have a little bit of rum or something. They're not doing that. Them man, they're not doing that. So when you say it's coachable, I wouldn't say cardio is coachable. I feel like it's more you as a human being. Technique now, you can coach that out of a player. Like certain players, I know certain players that are super technical and super skillful, but it doesn't fit the manager's brief because he needs you to pass the ball there so that one goes, you know what I mean? Like the structure of the team. So Ryan Shirky might like have all the skill in the world, but what team would he really fit in with the way he plays? It's hard to fit in with teams nowadays with that type of football. Like you need to be a maverick. You need to have a coach that lets you. He would suit Tottenham. Now Ryan Shirky would suit Tottenham because he's like it's all out attack and just go and do your thing. You know what I'm saying? So he would suit a team like Tottenham or Man United. He ain't gonna suit Arsenal too well. He probably won't suit. He might suit Liverpool when they're playing at home, but he probably won't suit Liverpool's. Not the new Liverpool anyway. He definitely won't suit Man City. Them teams are too structured to just have a player like that just doing what he wants in the team. So he's got too much individual brilliance. They're not interested in that. They need the team to play how they need it to play. You know what I'm saying? In 2 years with the right development, he can be world class. Yeah, I'm not denying that. I agree with you 100%. He's got the world class talent. That's for certain. But world class in what way though? Do you mean like deciding games and like when you say he can be world class in 2 years? Like, what do you think he's going to be doing and achieving to be world class? Like, that's the question, isn't it? Like, he can be world class, but what is he really going to do to be world class? That's what I'm thinking. So that's more my thing because I don't know if he's really going to be able to flourish in England like that. Because you got to flourish in England. Like, when you come to England, it's like you know how many players we've seen over the years that have been dumbed down, that were brilliant players that have been dumbed down. There's so many players that we had that you take the style out of those players, man. Like there's so many players, even like Martinelli. Martinelli's been told to just calm himself down. Martinelli's been dimmed a little bit. Ryan Shirky, if he comes over, I feel like these coaches nowadays they'll coach that brilliance out of you. It's very rare that you get players that are allowed to just show their brilliance and come over and like when last did you see an individual brilliant player? When last? I need to know the last individual brilliant player that's been allowed to be brilliant, because that coaches don't allow that anymore because you'll be losing the ball too much. So you got to let me know when the last individual brilliant player was, or who he is, or if there is anyone anymore. Like the individual brilliance nowadays is players like De Bruyne, and even he is still a system kind of guy that can fit into a system. What individual, like Ryan Shirky is a individual brilliance guy. So what other players are there like him in England that are succeeding? There's no one like that. There's no one that's allowed to be like that. These managers will coach out the brilliance out of you, bro. They ain't gonna let you come over and just start flicking and tricking and doing all these things like that and trying to win the game, because you can try and win the game, but you can also lose the game like that. These managers are not going to risk that. There's too much on the line. These managers now, their jobs are on the line. There's too much money in the English football. Like, you lose the ball, you're not getting the ball back for 2-3 minutes. I see the other day, Ipswich, when Man United were playing Ipswich, Man United didn't get the ball for about, I remember one time I was actually looking at it feeling like Man United had the ball for ages. I think Ipswich had the ball for like 4 minutes or 3 minutes or something like that. There's one thing, if you actually go back and watch the game, or there's a point where Ipswich had the ball for ages. This is Ipswich. Do you know what I'm saying? If Ryan Shirky comes to England, he ain't going to be allowed to just be flicking and tricking, and they're not going to allow that, bro. Like, these managers now, they coach all of that out of you. They even coach that out of you when you're younger, in the younger years. Like, when you got academy kids coming up, they don't want you doing all these skills. There's no street footballers no more. When's the last time you saw a player that had individual brilliance and was allowed to be brilliant? That doesn't exist no more. That's out of you. Everything's system. You got to win the game. Everything's about the team, the game. They don't care about you winning the match on your own. That's done. The last individual brilliant player was Messi, and because he was that good, it's different. They don't allow brilliance anymore. Like the JJ Okochas and Tony Yeboahs and all them guys. Them guys are out the game. They're finished, man. You start doing that at academy level, they'll just get rid of you because you're not listening to the coach. That's how it is now. If you don't listen to the coaches or you don't listen to the managers, they get rid of you. Oh, he's uncoachable. That's what they call it. He's uncoachable. He doesn't listen. I remember before I went to a guy called Michael Hector. That's one of my good friends. He was going for he was at Reading and all that, but he had to go to play a match against Fulham. They were playing Fulham, but this was when he was a bit younger. So he was must have been about 17 or something. And I remember when we went to the actual game, it was at Reading's training ground. He was playing, but there was a player on the other team, for Fulham's team, that was like, this guy was brilliant. I wish I remembered his name. He was just a young boy. He was just doing all of these flicks and tricks. Like, everyone that's watching him is like, you look like you're the best player on the pitch. He was absolutely brilliant. This boy was doing all these things, was running past players easily. The coaches were shouting at him all game. That's what they were just shouting at him all game. He was running past players and then doing something, jinking and whatever, and they're screaming at him, pass it to there, and they're going mad at him because he's doing his own thing. So Ryan Shirky will come over, and if he thinks he's gonna come over and start doing all this stuff, these managers will coach it out of him, bro. They ain't gonna let you do all that, bro. So yeah, you might be able to be with the right development, but you got to tell me who you think the right development is. The only manager that I think would let him be himself is Ange. Slot ain't letting him do all that, because Slot is really on this keep the ball. Guardiola wants the ball for the whole game, and so does Arteta. So you ain't gonna be able to do any tricks and flicks and win the game for your team. That ain't happening. So he can be world class in 2 years potentially with the right development, but the right development is hard to find, man, because it's not easy. I just feel like players like that have instinct, and it always eventually clicks. No, it doesn't always eventually click. I think the opposite of that. It definitely doesn't always eventually click. Like, Ben Arthur was as talented as we've seen in the Premier League in a long time, and he didn't go to one of the top clubs. It didn't eventually click. He's a brilliant player and can kind of win matches on his own, and he scored one of the best goals from the halfway line when he ran through everyone and stuff like that. But he didn't. When you say click, it clicks in games, and then sometimes managers don't want to be bothered to coach it because you're not listening. Like, of course, you go, like, even now, when players don't beat defenders 1-on-1 anymore. That's all done. You wanna go and beat a player 1-on-1 and run past a defender and try something and shoot. That's all finished. All of that's done. Those games are done, man. It's disgusting. They should let these ballers fly. Yeah, they should do. But when your job's on the line and you're say 17th in the league, 16th in the league, and you got a player that's just like, what's his name? What's that guy's name? Remember Adel Taarabt? Remember Taarabt? He's exactly what I'm talking about. He was at QPR when they were fighting relegation and stuff like that. And then Tarapt is like, he's doing all these things, and Tarapt is doing this and doing that. And like, when Tarapt is doing what he's doing, sometimes he's winning games, but sometimes he's not helping the team. They can't deal with that. Managers can't deal with players like Tarapt anymore. I don't know if you guys know, remember Adel Tarapt? Or like, them guys there, they're mavericks. They're brilliantly talented, but they're not gonna allow you to be like that anymore, man. That's all gone, bruv. That day. It's a shame. Because I remember back in the day, you would have tried to get another Tarapt in the team. Back in the day, you was looking for a Burkamp and an Henry and a Perez. Do you know what I'm saying? That's how it was back in the day. You're looking for, you might try and find a Tarapt on one wing, but you're trying to find another Tarapt on the other side. Nah, they don't do it like that. Now everything is, oh, we got to have a left footer in this position. We got to have a right footer there because the way he faces that way. We got to make sure we have a goalkeeper that plays out from the back. We got to make sure our striker, when he comes here, this player has to go there. It's like a puzzle. Nah, football's like a chess game. Like the whole individual brilliance and being the best team and the best players is all done, man. It's all about who can outsmart. It's like a chess game. When we played Chelsea, it was a boring game for some. It was an intriguing game for me, but it was a chess match. You know what I'm saying? Everything's chess now. There's no football anymore. It's all chess. Yeah, or Walker's playing here, but when Walker's there, Stones had to be here, and Stones is there, then Odegaard has to be here. And if Odegaard's there, then Stones can't pass there, and then Walker can pass there. But then if Saka's there, then it's all that. There's none of this, like, when you get the ball, beat your man. Because you can't plan for beating your man, you get me? A player can just get the ball and just beat his man, but you can't plan for that. So yeah, all of that's gone out the window, man. It's gone out the window. Odegaard would walk into that Madrid team. Yeah, of course he would. What, Odegaard walks into any team? I said this a little while ago. I said Odegaard's walk us a little while ago. Everyone just started like going mad at me. I was like, I don't understand. I said Odegaard was our most important player ages ago. I said this on Twitter a little while ago, and I was going back and forth with one of the Arsenal fan TV guys. Like, and then like, when man was doing it, when I was going back and forth with him, he was like, nah. I said, Odegaard's our most important player, man. He goes, nah, Saka and Saliba. And I said, no, fam. When we don't have Odegaard in our team, like, it's all going to go to shit. Trust me. Like, no Odegaard in our team, it's a mess. Simple as that. You get me? And it comes. That's why I'm kind of happy that everyone kind of gets it now, because no Odegaard has shown everyone, yeah, it's a problem. Because without him, it's a problem. It's a mess. And Odegaard is easily world class. And anyone that doesn't think Odegaard's world class, to me, just doesn't know football. If you say Odegaard's not world class, I'll just think, okay, you just don't get it. That's how I see it, innit? Like, if Odegaard is not world class, then you don't know football. Simple as that. Like, that's just how I see it. It's as clear as day to me. Odegaard is easily world class, and simple as that, really. Like, simple as that. There's no two ways about it. Odegaard is the most underrated player. I feel like he's getting his ratings now, but yeah, of course he would walk into that Real Madrid team. What team wouldn't he get into is what I want to know. Because they were comparing Odegaard, because they always like to do this Palmer versus Saka comparison, but they don't even play the same position. Odegaard, if you're comparing Palmer to Odegaard, I always say Palmer is like a maverick player, yeah, which can win you games because he's a serious problem on the pitch. Like, you don't stop Palmer, he will tear you to shreds. Any team, like that's the truth of it. Like, you play Man City, he will tear them to shreds. You play Arsenal, if you don't look after Palmer, he's gonna tear you to shreds. But Palmer is more of a finisher. Like, when I say a finisher, I mean like at the end of moves. So he's a goal and assist guy. He will create and he will get goals. He's not a tempo setter or a dictator of the match. Odegaard is a tempo setter. So Odegaard can be world class without the goals and assists, like a David Silva, because he's a tempo setter. Palmer probably needs to have goals and assists to be world class. But me personally, I'm an Odegaard fan, but Palmer to me is just phenomenal as well. Like, when we played them this year, he did this right at the beginning of the game. He did this thing, he got the ball, dropped his shoulder, went that way, flew past Party, and had a shot from about 30, 40 yards. And I was like, well, you better be careful of that Party, man, because all Palmer needs is that one split thing. He's so clever, isn't it? He knows exactly what to do at the right time. Yeah, he hasn't been performing against all the big teams so brilliantly, innit? Okay, I understand that, because those games are a lot tighter. But if there's someone's going to win you the game, it's him. Like, he's up. If Man City had him now, it would be a whole different thing right now. He is that guy. Simple as that. Simple as that. Then Odegaard is out. Should Saka be asked to move central as he next best player on the ball alongside Odegaard? Odegaard manages better, but Saka should be asked to help more, right? Surprisingly, I actually agree with you. Like, I've been saying for a little while, Saka's going to end up being moved to the 10 at some point. Not just moved to the 10, but, and the reason why I say that, yeah, is what Saka's going to do, yeah? Like, he's the type of player that can play centre midfield, but he can run with the ball as well. So, if we didn't have Odegaard, I would want Saka to be, move my camera a little bit, I would want Saka to be the central midfielder. What's that? My picture's falling. What's going on there? Do you know what I've done? I put my picture behind look. I've got a picture behind there. None of you lot could tell me that the picture was hanging out, bro. You little snakes out here, you lot are snakes, mate. You lot couldn't tell me the picture was falling. If it just fall on my head, then what? That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean about you lot, bro. You lot just slightly hoping it just falls on my head, innit? I hear it. I hear your thing. Trench living. But yeah, Saka will end up playing, like, I thought, when he gets older, in the 10 in more central areas, because I feel like that his game suits that as well, because he's a very, very clever player. And if he's in the 10 or the attacking midfield role, he can be the difference maker, because he runs with the ball, so he can beat the 6, he can beat the centre backs, but he's also got a final ball. So he would be like our version of Palmer. So yeah, 100%. Saka in the 10 would definitely be a big thing. And he works hard anyway, but he would. I've been thinking about that for a while. I'll be real. I feel like some games, if we manage to get another right, like if we had a Pedro Neto or a Tyler Diblin, for example, in certain games, I would like play Rice. I feel like this is probably Arteta's plan as well. Play Rice as the lone pivot sometimes, and then Odegaard would play in the 8, and then Saka would play in the 10. Against obviously you'd have an inverted fullback against the lower teams where you can dominate the whole ball, the whole game, and then you would have a like you would have had a Neto or someone else on the left and on the right, sorry, and whatever. So I feel like that's obviously in Arteta's head, but the way Saka's playing now, he's probably just thinking, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing on the right hand side. But yeah, Saka in a more central role, I think he would do a lot. He would do a lot of damage in a central role, because he can run with the ball as well. So he would do what Morgan Rogers does with more end product. Do you know what I'm saying? So you'd get the ball. So where Odegaard has to pass 1-2 with players, Saka would be running. Like, Saka would play how Waneri plays, like running with the ball, like in the 10, and then like that's how he would play. But the difference is, with that, you get less control in the game, because Odegaard is a tempo setter. So I feel like you got to pick and choose which one you want, because we play through Odegaard, innit? And Odegaard's a tempo setter, so it's a bit different. Have you noticed how much the overlapping fullback was important in your game versus Forest? In our game versus Forest, we didn't really overlap the fullback that much. In the game versus Forest, we had Timber. In the game versus Forest, it was Timber in the game versus Forest. He did overlap, and Timber did overlap in the game. I'm not saying he didn't overlap, but I'm saying Timber's a bit different to Ben White, where he's better on the ball. So Timber dribbles more than Ben White. Ben White needs to pass around to get where he needs to get to. Timber runs with the ball, so he probably felt like he was not overlapping, but was doing more because Timber will run with the ball. So sometimes when he's got the ball, he'll pass to Saka. Saka will give it back to him, and he runs into the space. So it feels like he's running forward more than Ben White. Ben White needs to run to the space first and then get the ball and then deliver it. Whereas Timber doesn't need to do that. Timber can just run there and deliver it. Timber's like a winger. Timber's like an anomaly though, isn't it? Because he can really play anywhere, but he's that good on the ball. It's like I've now realized that he has to be in the team. I feel like when Ben White gets back, I feel what will happen is Ben White will be obviously right centre back and right back, and we'll be able to pick and choose for every game. Like, but Timber will start every game. Like he's now become the main fullback in our team. He's that good. I didn't know he was that good. Maresca is trying to make the winger overlap, which confuses me. What do you mean trying to make the winger overlap? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? You got to explain that one to me. I don't know. What do you mean by the winger overlap? Winger overlap who? I always feel the fullback should overlap. Yeah. But when you say the winger should overlap, let me know what you mean. You got to know what you mean. But let me go back to this comment where you said cardio is coachable, tech like that isn't teachable. Yeah, because like you say, tech isn't teachable. But that's what I'm saying about the Declan Rice. Let me bring it back to Declan Rice, because with Declan Rice, when you say tech isn't teachable, it's not. And I feel like that's what's happening with Rice, because he's being painted with a brush that he's Rodri. But you've got to look at Declan Rice for what his strengths are. Now, do his strengths allow him to like excel still? Because his strengths are off the ball more than on the ball. Like, he can last the whole game. He very rarely gets injured. Hardly gets yellow cards. Hardly gets tackled. Hardly loses the ball. People don't very really go past him. So he's just a solid player. Rice is more on the solid. He's a solid player. So you got to be, when it comes to Declan Rice now, I feel like I've answered this question a few times, but Declan Rice is easily worth 100 million and easily one of our better players. He's one of the first names on the team sheet. If you ask Arteta, he will tell you, yeah, Rice is on the team sheet, guaranteed. Rice is not the one getting dropped. That's standard, simple as that. Rice will never get dropped. Like, he's not the one that's going to get dropped. If someone's going to get dropped, it will be Marino every time. Partey's playing too well to get dropped, so Marino will get dropped. But Rice is never going to be the one getting dropped. That will never happen. But I'm still in shock about Konate. I can't believe Konate is still out. 6 weeks is a long time. 6 weeks is a long time. I can't believe Konate is out. What do you think that means? What do you think that means? I can't believe Konate is out. Yeah, it's crazy. Konate being out is crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. 6 weeks is a long time, bro. 6 weeks is a long time. And in that 6 weeks, anything can change. That's the whole Christmas period. Big. That's big time, man. That's big time. But yeah, man, definitely doing a watch along to thing tomorrow. Like, guaranteed I'm doing a watch along. There's no two ways about that. No two ways about that, man. Watch along is happening for a fact. Dean's gonna jump in a minute anyway. So let's wait for him anyway. But yeah, no, yeah, Konate being that's a big thing, man. That's a big deal. Gomez is the backup, which is fine. That's not fine. It's not the same thing. Ain't the same. Gomez ain't the same. That's for certain. Gomez is not the same. I know you think he is, but he ain't. But yeah, man, let me go and sort a couple things out. And then I might even come back on later, I'll be real. See what's going on. Start doing these lives a little bit more, you get me? But big up everyone in there. Big up everyone that come through. Big up yourselves. Like, subscribe and all that, you get me? Do that good stuff. I might come back on in a minute, I'm just gonna go eat some food and whatever. And I'll probably just come back on in a piece. Just talk a little bit more about stuff. Because we kind of got into a few bits today still. The main thing is the Konate injury. Konate injury is crazy. Like, that's madness to me. I can't believe 6 weeks out is. I didn't. I don't know if anyone expected that. I don't know if that changes what Liverpool think for the weekend. I don't know. Like, what do Liverpool fans think? I don't know if that changes anything or if they still feel that they should win, because Man City are not on good form. So, but I know for Man City, they'll be like, we've got a chance, like big chance now. And I think they had a big chance anyway, with or without Konate. But Konate being out is a big deal. That's a big, big, big deal. So, yeah, it's a big problem, man. They're gonna have to deal with that. They're gonna have to deal with that, and that ain't easy to deal with. It's not easy to find a centre back that's big and strong, and he's been their best centre back this year. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's a big deal. But yeah, I'm probably gonna come back on here in a minute anyway. So let me just go and get something to eat. I don't want to be eating on stream and that. You know, like sometimes I see people eating on stream and all that. And I'm like, yeah, cool, but I don't really want to be wow, eating on stream and that. Yeah. But yeah, I'll come back on in a minute. Go eat. I'll jump back on. Just carry on where we were from. You get me? So give me a little while. I'll be back in a little piece.